Welcome, friends, to another episode of Fall of Uther. We're here doing a road to Malahaut. Let's do this. Let's start with Thomas. Do some intros.
Hell
How you doing,
yes.
man?
I'm doing all right. Thomas is doing all right. Edrich himself is having a rough time. My name is Thomas, and I will be playing the aforementioned Edrich of House Winterbourne Stoke. Edrich's wife has been arrested, and he did not take that well, and may or may not have lashed out at a lot of people. But let's see how his situation and demeanor improves or spirals.
Sounds about right. Mark.
Hello. I literally just took a bite right as you went to me. Hello. I'm Mark. I'm here going to play Sir Florence of Idmiston, Baron of Axe, and I'm excited to fuck up things in Malahaut, however that goes.
All right.
I think we're trying to avoid fucking things up in Malahaut, actually.
Maybe.
We'll see.
You might be.
All right, cool. And we'll go to Liam next.
Hi, everybody. I got ketchup on my fingers. I am Liam. I play Sir Perin of Durnford, and I am working actively to not fuck things up in Malahaut.
We actually
things
call
are gonna
him
be.
Liam Ketchup Fingers. Actually,
They do
Mm-hmm.
call me Liam Ketchup Fingers. They've done that for years. I've never understood until today. It's the first time I've understood. But I am looking forward to not fucking things up. I really need things to not be bad in Logris for a little while, if that's possible.
It would be nice if things were good in Logris, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be good if things were good in Logris?
things are fine with Logris. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know if things are gonna be good in Logris until Logris doesn't exist.
Let us continue on. We have a guest that we totally never have on the show.
No. It's a rare occurrence for Sir Jarren of Newton Manor to join along, and for once, not looking to fuck up things in Malahaut. I mean, strange, but being on the eastern front and taking a break from the war that is constantly going on, I think he would prefer Logris to turn their eyes that way. So he is joined to try to convince Logris not to beat up Malahaut as another random target for perhaps a king's pride and hubris, but it's a debate.
Oh, you're muted, Bob.
I said not really that important. It'll be fine. Everything's all right.
Everything's fine. We're all fine here. How are you?
Okay. So we're doing the road to Malahaut to start us off. I thought it'd be fun before we actually dive right in, just to see if there's any last minute thingies anyone needs to deal with before they go. Maybe we'll do like a volunteer first kind of thing. That way we don't catch anyone who's eating.
That seemed so targeted. I don't know.
Mark was just eating a minute ago.
That's true. He had noodles. I noticed his chopsticks. I think I had something, but I don't remember what it is. So I'd say I'm good.
Okay. Cool.
The only thing I need to do is not quite relevant here, and that's finishing the trail that I started on, and with the names that the Barrack Saxons gave me to track down the ones who started. What's happening? There we go. Who started the attack on Count Roderick all those years ago.
Did we almost lose Mark again? Is that what happened?
Yes. He disappeared and then came back. But beyond that, I've got nothing, and we can always do that another time.
Yeah, that's fair. You have a lot on your plate right now. That's good time,
Yeah.
Edrich. Good time, Edrich.
Good time, Edrich. That's what they called me.
He's the fancy lad with a fancy time.
Yeah. I think for Florence, he's mostly playing politics, gaining friends and talking to people, and also figuring out the whole axe situation. Meeting his neighbors,
Oh yeah.
proving himself.
Your
Yeah.
uncle's now over there. Ledig
That's true, yeah.
Right.
has went over on your behalf. Packed his bags and had.
Oh.
That's right.
I have a question, Bob.
Mhm.
With Edric's wife Oslaf in custody, what has become of his son Alaric?
Like, so the son's being looked after. I think that they would allow the son to be with mom since he's like so young. But I mean, you would have a midwife anyways. You would have, you know what I mean? Those things are really basic, like almost servant level more than other nobles, right? So it doesn't cost you the multiple librum a year to make that kind of thing happen. Because they wouldn't want to jeopardize your heir, they would probably have the baby with mom. But it's worth noting that kids don't really live like, when we think about it, we go to 5 and then we go to school, but we come back from school every day. Like when your sons and daughters hit 5, they go off to Sarum, and you see them again when they come back from being a squire. Like you see them occasionally at Christmas, and otherwise they're like, here you go, world. Here's
Just boarding
my
school.
Yeah.
Ship him off.
Boarding school with a different family. Alright, here's how you clean armor, and here's how you kill.
Right.
But yes.
So because the tension of this envoy, it does not have like a lot of the ladies and non-combatant diplomats are not going to be attending. In fact, they're advised, or demanded not to in this case, just to keep things extra safe in case the situation goes.
In case
well.
Malahaut, in case Saxon's attack on the way, or Malahaut finds us unfavorable, or Edric finally snaps.
Let's hope it's not
It's
that
one
one.
of those-
I've got a
one of
plan
those.
for everything except for that one. Edrich snaps. I'll kill him first. How dare he?
Oh, I suppose, Bob, I have a minor question. So, and it'll come up in conversation, I'm sure. But so Jarren has issued a duel to Sir Brastius. Has there been any response to that?
Not yet.
Okay,
It's probably only
good.
been like a month. Like this is late spring at this point, kind of thing. So it's still pretty early in the year.
Right, yeah. Jarren already sees it as an insult for not getting a response back.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
In this world where 4-year-olds can become knights, can a man not to retrieve
I
a
expect an
response?
answer immediately.
I warned him. I told Brastius that he needed to plan for this, and if he hasn't yet, then I hope he figures it out.
Yeah, that's fair.
My hands are clean. My hands are clean.
For now.
For now. They're not going to stay that way.
Yeah, rumor has it. Well, Jarren heard all the news, of course, about King Uther's duel, and that has really thrown the realm into a particularly hot situation. Yeah, it doesn't look good. It doesn't seem good. The outcry of the situation. That being said,
Also,
Prince Madoc has stepped up a little bit and has started to play the role of his father for now.
but also immediately after that, our 2 greatest criminals escaped.
Yes, Octa and Eosa
Oh yeah.
are back on the prowl somewhere.
Back on
Sorry.
the lam.
Back on the lamb from the law.
Batman's Rogue Gallery got out again.
Yeah.
Escaped from the
At least this
asylum.
it's time. I might be able. I'll get him.
Mark, your internet hates you again. I can see.
No, it's the connection from my camera. It's a weak connection. I don't know how to explain it. other than that, let's just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
All right. So the retinue under Roderick is about 50 knights strong. So it's a pretty big retinue that you're a part of. It is not a little tiny envoy. It's a major political envoy and perhaps a bit of flexing of the muscle because it's just one small earl bringing only
Gunboat diplomacy.
a small portion of his forces, and it's probably about 1/10 of what the Centurion Knight has for his own knights, right? So it's
Indeed.
Because they're a minor kingdom up there compared to Logris. Like Logris is
Bigger
most
enough.
of the island. It's most of the island.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, compared to Logris, they're small. Compared to us, quite
Yeah.
large.
About the same
Yeah.
size.
I mean, think about it this way: if quite a bit of Roderick's stuff is still 1/10 of their forces, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's-
still.
Quite
Well, we're a good chunk of Logris's forces.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Well,
Good
I will
chunk.
say this too: they don't make them like they do in Salisbury. They're
That's
there's-
true.
Those Malahaut guys,
They-
Salisbury supremacy.
pansies, dummies,
Hell, yes.
silly lads.
It's not jingoism if it's based in fact. Oh, before we start, I have a brief request. Perin, could you roll awareness for me?
Oh God.
As
It's
I
nothing
jump out of the
bad,
tree,
don't worry.
As a
Well, Perrin's
successor.
On a success for Perin, you would note on Edrich's belt is a regular sword, but you could see carried by his squire on one of his bags is the sword of cutting wit. Not
He's
to be
got it
used by the
back!
squire, but perhaps indeed to be drawn, maybe.
Oh, thank God. There. Now we can be friends
Uh,
again.
I also would think it would be so funny, Thomas, if you just did that for no reason, and then you're like, sorry, you needed a crit to see what happened.
Yeah, exactly. That would be good.
Thomas
See
sets
through space.
yeah. Thomas sets all that up. It's like first body of water you guys ride by. He's like hucks it in. And there we go.
Oh. I don't remember if Mark, I know you said that as a joke, but I'm going to make you guys do that actually. I need you guys to make me an awareness check as well, and only Critical's going to be able to see it. I'm sorry. I forgot. I don't
alright.
remember if I brought this up before.
One off.
Well, that was very close.
It's very unlikely Florence will succeed.
It's
It's a 1 in 20.
same chance as anything else. Yeah. All right.
No, he didn't even succeed.
Never mind then. I will still tell you guys out of character though. Perin has etched into the blade in certain places the names of several of the knights, if not all of the knights that Uther threw against Tintagel and just got killed.
Indeed.
It's very hard to see, but if you got a crit, you would have been able to. You would have been able to spot it.
It's funny, even if Florence would have seen it, it would have meant nothing to
It
him.
would have meant nothing to
A
him.
bunch of names.
Yeah. Edric
Must
was
have been the
there.
people he killed.
He doesn't know the guys.
Imagine the process.
What is
we
it,
have
like a
we
body
have
count?
we have Perin telling his priest the names of the people, the priest writing down the markings and handing them to the blacksmith, who has to interpret them as like art rather than actual language because he doesn't know how to.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what the fuck it means.
Yeah.
It was worth it to Perin. It was worth it.
Things are
think it'd
hard
be
back
funny.
in 5th century. Yeah.
I think Perin probably wouldn't even be able to tell if it was incorrect. He just has to trust the blacksmith on this one.
Yeah.
My wife can read, right? Probably.
Probably.
Probably, yeah. She could double check
Oh.
it for me.
My God, it's like when like getting those tattoos and like
No
Chinese or
regrets.
kanji, and it's just like water or something. No
Um,
regret.
Okay, so I can't remember if I had anything. I feel like I was gonna say something. Oh, I was just gonna mention some of the names or faces that are here. So Roderick's here. Elid is not. So Sir Elid is the marshal. He's gonna stay behind and protect Salisbury from any would-be threats.
He's also getting up in years.
he is quite old. He was an old man when you guys were just starting
Yeah.
out with Edward in those guys. So
Yeah.
but Amig is coming. He'll be along with you. Sir Bar is here. Thomas's favorite knights: Sir Bar, Lycus, Leo, and Kibno. Some of the Earl's household knights that were involved in detaining
The
Oslaf.
kidnapping of Edrich. Yes. If they're not sleeping with one eye open, I feel they don't respect me.
Sir Loof is present for this one, just to piss off some of our audience.
Woo.
Oh, wonderful Sir Loof.
We never really interact with him. His presence is just here to annoy some people.
Jarren does.
There
Jarren
would be-
has.
Oh no, Jarren actually likes Sir Loof. They're
Yes. Sir Loof
friends,
helped
or
him
Jarren
out.
would consider him a friend.
He's a fine guy.
There was one thing last session which would have gotten Edrich on the same page as everyone else, which is him bad-mouthing Oslaf. Which there was a 1 in 20 chance of it being Sir Loof who did that.
Indeed. Blackwind is still a mercenary knight, but he's basically under full. Like, he's never not been under Newton Manor's employ, so it's it's just a mutually beneficial thing. He doesn't want to lock down as a household knight, and hasn't really had an offer in about a decade, anyways. There's Kenrick and Albin. Sir Mosen de Woodford.
Sir Kenrick Lamar.
Sir Kenrick
Yeah.
Lamar.
Mhm.
And
Briss!
and then Briss is in fact from Weil, so which is somewhere Wiley. I don't know how to pronounce that. Wiley? Weil?
While of
remember-
Coyote fame.
I remember back when I taught him how to be generous and not an asshole. Good times.
Indeed. Some of Roderick's people are going to be caught up with not because some of his people aren't stationed in Salisbury, right? Like some of the people that owe him allegiance hold his other holdings elsewhere, as seen on Open Pendragon. And we lost Mark again.
He's back.
He's back from outer space.
So you're going to be traveling through to Silchester, which is going to be like the central meeting point, and then from there, there's a bit of a discussion actually as you're on the road, heading through Levcamagus. Roderick demands that no one actually spends time in Levcamagus, that it's quick and you move through as fast as possible, basically riding through it only because you have to and there's no better way. But once you're in Silchester to meet up with the remnants, and then there's a debate on whether to go up the western road or up the eastern road right now. I will give you all like either awareness or intrigue rolls if you want to kind of figure out what this is
I'm
about.
actually, for once in my life, I'm going to make an awareness roll because I've already got a check in intrigue and I would like to have a check in something else.
Nope.
I'm gonna make
Nope.
an intrigue check.
I don't need to be aware of things. It's fine.
We're running the gamut.
Right?
We've got the Punnett square of success and failure and awareness and intrigue.
If you rolled awareness, I think for Jarren, you can just tell the people that are talking about it. It seems to be a bit of an argument. You're not really sure why, but they seem to be wanting to avoid London.
I mean, Jarren would be curious as to why.
Yeah, you're welcome to interrupt if you want. It's actually Leo and Lycus that are arguing about this right now because they've been asked by the Earl like what way to go.
So, what does it matter which way we go? We have to get there some way.
It does, yes. Lycus just looks to Jarren. Jarren, as I was just telling Leo here, I think there's no problem with riding through London. just because the king is harmed doesn't mean that everything is in chaos. There should be enough stability for us to ride through the kingdom without any conflict. And besides, that's the capital. Why would we have any trouble? And then Leo's like, I was simply suggesting to Sir Lycus here that there's been a lot of talk of spies lately. And perhaps it would be to our advantage not to take the most obvious route.
Ah, I too have heard these rumors. And perhaps there's something to it. If we were to go a normal route, I know well the Saxon ambushes that can occur.
Indeed.
Though, and Jarren puts up a finger, though, a Saxon ambush on a bunch of well-armed knights is a lot better than an ambush on a merchant caravan. We'd be able to take out the Saxon threat ourselves. As Jarren just sort of nods to himself, like, oh, I could go for killing some Saxons right about now.
Yeah. That's an interesting take. I think with that one, just give me like a valorous test on that.
He's valorous.
Yeah. I think it's you're known for being brave. I mean, even above the average knight. So I think they both just nod like that's to be expected. You know, you crave battle. Sir Leo just kind of quiets a bit and says, even so, there seems to be more on the Earl's mind. Normally he would just tell us, not ask us.
I see. Bit of... Well, I suppose we could ask the other knights. We have plenty with us. Sure, there are many perspectives. As he looks around and his eyes land on one knight who happens to be married to a Saxon.
Edrich has been there the entire time, sitting down and glaring daggers into the back of Leo and Lycus. On a successful intrigue check, what do I get?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of mention that in a second because it's slightly
Gotcha.
different. It's a very big group, so I think you're not exactly close to this conversation because you chose not to do awareness. Instead, you're picking up on other things.
Oh,
so, so I think Leo looks to you, Jarren, and says, "That's a really good point. You know what? Why don't we just make that happen?" Oh, I'm getting some weird hiccups, I think. I just want to see, hold on. I'm going to pull the audience. Is my sound breaking up or is that just in my headset?
I am not getting any breakup from you.
No. I'm going to check with the stream, make sure it's not like, because the music was kind of dipping a little bit too in Roll20 for me. I just want to make sure it's not going to be like a really busted episode.
You sound pretty clear to me on the stream.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as it's consistent. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it...
For a second there, I
For a
thought
moment, I
Sir
thought-
Leo was saying,
Exactly.
I'm getting some weird
Hiccups
hiccups
in
now.
character. Exactly.
Yeah, sorry.
That's what I thought too.
I was very distracted by that. Okay, so where did I leave off? Oh, Leo says, that's a really good idea, Sir Jarren. Why don't you pull the other three Sword of Victory and whatever the four of you can agree to, we'll put that forward to the Earl.
Of course, I'll find them. And he, his chest puffs a little bit. You know, the sword of victory are the ones to make these kinds of decisions, clearly, because we are very important.
Right?
And
to be fair, you guys are starting to get up there now in the old glory ranks, so you're pushing the upper half now. So.
One of my favorite parts of last session was how vocal we were at basically the regent council. You know, like we nominated Roderick, and we also mentioned that maybe we should send a envoy and whatnot. You know, I thought like we're up there now. We've grown up.
Indeed, you're not those newbie knights you started as.
No, we're much angrier.
and more cynical.
Like soul.
So yes, unless you want to do their intrigue rolls and stuff, so Jarren will go gather them.
Well, I'll do that real quick for Edrich here. So Edrich, you're riding closer to the Earl, and you've heard some whispers about this in general as you pass through some of the forests between Sarum and Lefkamagus. You hear lots of consultation between the Earl and his Master Hunter. And the Master Hunter is just pointing out how narrow the road has become, how thick the forest has grown this year. They seem to be pointing it out as if it's like a weird growth this year, maybe too early of a spring. You know, they don't really have a good science to wrap their head around that. But I'm curious if you want to just test maybe spiritual versus worldly, real quick.
Absolutely.
Or worldly.
I will note that Edrich also noticed this last episode at the end, and he said, and I quote, "Strange magic is afoot." This is a failure, though, on spiritual.
That's okay. Just don't pass the other one.
Shall I test worldly?
Yeah. Yep.
You said don't pass the other one, so I did.
Okay. I won't give you a tick on that because it's not a crit, but I think in this you're just. So, like you said, you're a little bit suspicious or paranoid of magic. I don't know if spiritual
it's more
14,
that he's worried about other things.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, your mind's
moment.
elsewhere. Your mind's elsewhere. But you know that the Earl has some hesitation to go further west just because of the sheer amount of like unknown forest road that you would have to ride through. Into areas like closer to less known roads.
So is east to London or west to London?
East to London. West to
London.
West would take you up to Corinium, which is like over towards the western border of Logris, and then up from there. Yeah.
East?
Gotcha.
I thought you said west.
Right. Okay, with that, we'll have Jarren come in at that point.
He'll ride on over and say, "Oh, Knights of the Sword, it's good to see you all once again. Now that I'm back from the east, and I suppose we are heading north. But how are we heading north? I guess that is the topic of conversation amongst the knights."
I've heard some discussions of that. Oh, Mark, it looks like your video's gone completely.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. Keep going.
Roger. It looks like that's the subject of conversation between the Earl and his hunter as well. Apparently, the growth of the plants and the forests have affected these areas as well. West is overgrown and more enclosed, and thus hard to run a train down. Oh, and you would note, Sir Jarren, that Edrich is wearing that amulet that you gave him.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Um,
in case he picks up any more Saxon wives along the way. So
in
Right.
case he
I should
sticks
ward
with
them
any more
off.
Saxon
Yeah.
wives.
One's
exactly.
plenty.
Mm. Regardless, it seems that East has its own problems, but more political. What have you gathered?
It seems as though there's some concerns going the eastern route. People are worried going through towns or London will be problematic, either by ambush on the road, since it is more dangerous the farther east you go, but also due to. Sir Jarren raises an eyebrow, not exactly sure, because he's been on the war front, not necessarily riding around towns to see the chaos going on from Uther's recent mishaps. I believe there is underlying tension with how the king has. Well, I actually had a few questions about how that whole thing happened. I heard you were there. You all were there.
It went quite badly.
Is it true? And he leans in a bit. He looks to the side, make sure there's nobody listening. Is it true that our king's penis was chopped off? I've heard many rumors.
None of us were in a position to check directly. We did stem the bleeding as best we could, and we carried him to a healer. Florence and I, at least. And he nods to Florence. I cannot say how far the damage went, and I would prefer to change the subject.
Right, yes. Those are important for making heirs, so that might be a problem in the future.
Oh, yes. In any case, getting closer to Saxons doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, particularly with our numbers. And if there is chaos on the road, it is our duty as knights to stamp it down. West, however, we will run into similar problems, bandits and such, within the enclosed forests. I'll break the awkward silence then. Either have obstacles, shall we say, to overcome. I would prefer to go through more civilized areas. What exactly do we lose if people know where we're going or what we're doing? Not as if we are defenseless. But if secrecy is the name of the game, West will be fine. It doesn't matter what strange impetus the forest is under, we can make it through.
I do have to ask, because another concern is, and Sir Jarren looks directly at the amulet that Edrich is wearing, and then quickly looks up. Spies with the Saxon threat, and as I've heard, 2 Saxon kings have escaped. People are believing that there are threats inside of Logris. One's hidden. And Sir Edrich, I don't mean to.
Don't you know?
I don't mean to be too blunt about this, but I need to ask. Why have they arrested your wife?
That dark storm cloud that was over Edric's head the entire time intensifies as he kind of leans forward and goes, For suspicion, and only that. She was a commander of the armies and King Eosa's niece. It makes rational sense that they would do such a thing, and at the requests of my companions, I have decided to not duel anyone over it. And he will nod to Perin and Florence. You can tell every word out of his mouth was like
challenge.
chewing caltrops.
Desperately want to be involved in this conversation so that I can save the day.
You're in this. You're in
No,
this.
you're
I
in the
am?
conversation.
Yeah.
Have
yeah,
I been?
you all-
Everybody
are we?
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been so
Forgot.
quiet
Up the
because I
Knights of the
thought.
Sword.
That's
Oh.
why we
Gathered up the-
That's why we were
That's
both
why there was an
pausing
awkward
and waiting for you guys
silence,
to.
That's why
chat.
the long pause. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why Edrich
Whoops.
says, "I'll break the awkward silence." Then.
In that case, Perin rides up for the first time right now.
Florence has been standing there, kind of looking at his nails, not really paying attention to the conversation.
Perin goes, Gentlemen, I understand the tension of the subject, but we'll have to trust the situation will be resolved properly, Jarren and Edrich, by what is meant to come next, right? Focus at the task at hand. I understand we're debating which way to go, yes?
We are, yes. I apologize. I
Oh.
thought you were in earshot.
Yes, no,
Ah.
I agree.
I figure that I agree with Sir Leo. I think we should move off the main roads if we can help it. It's a large retinue, and while I doubt we would be ambushed, I'd like to limit that possibility.
You wouldn't limit it by going west. The forest has its own problems. The master hunter of the Earls, I did not catch his name, is leery, as is the Earl about traveling through it with a retinue so large, with forests so enclosed. Ultimately, it doesn't matter so long as we make it there. But I would prefer, as knights, that we go through the path that is both easier for travel and that puts us in harm's way so that others might not.
What about splitting our retinue into two sizes?
No,
Marching.
then we'll be defeated in detail. We'll all die.
I disagree.
You see, Edric's like angry composure breaks, and he's like, "No."
I disagree. We've got a large enough force that splitting into two different columns that travel close enough to assist each other, but not so close that they're in each other's way, should speed up our travel considerably. How do you feel about asking Elad about his opinion? He's
Elad's not here.
moved the... Oh, he's not. Well, in that case, ignore that.
We would be separated by half of the British Isles if we travel into those. Corinium and Londinium are quite far.
I didn't say our two forces take different paths. I suggest we take the alternate path in two different separate columns.
I follow. I misunderstood.
Yeah, that happens. Let me, can I test battle, Bob, and see what would be the safest and most efficient way for us in both regards?
What are you thinking about when you think of
Focusing on lowering the risk of spies and ambushers. What would be the safest thing for us to do?
Gotcha. Okay, test battle.
Battle! Hell yeah, that's a success.
And now test hunting.
Oh no! Ooh! Ooh! It could be worse.
I think you're confident about the idea of the two columns, like basically keeping the Earl under protection from all sides, being able to surround him. You're really focused on that. Which is
It'll keep us more maneuverable. Is the idea. Perin nods and he goes, I have to say, Edrich, I do think you should trust my expertise here. Marching is something that I've got a lot of experience with, both in difficult terrain and not difficult terrain. There have been quite a few examples of treasonous agents recently. I'd rather be safe than sorry, and I'd rather the Count be alive than dead.
For my part, I will say, I don't see treasonous agents as something to shy away from. But we have gone through much, Sir Perin. Of all of the things about you I trust, your expertise has never been something in doubt. If you feel the forest is the safest way, then the forest I too shall choose.
Florence, you've been awfully quiet.
Oh, yes. No, I agree. I think that's the best option.
The forest or the road?
Yes, that's what I said.
That's what I thought. Lovely. Jarren, any objections?
No, not in particular. Either way is going to get us up to Malahaut so we can finish this and make sure we don't go to war with some other random part of the island while we have threats to the east.
Very well. I'll
Odds
pitch
we
it to
can only
Roderick
hope.
then. I'll pitch it to Roderick then. For now, I'd say let's keep the most important and finest fighters, their banners close to Roderick, yes?
Okay.
Splendid. Wonderful.
Okay, so Perin, you're approaching Roderick. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you find Roderick.
Sorry, I was
He's
reading-
Roderick's riding with Leo and Lycus and Bar. Amig is close to him as well. Leo.
Oh, Roderick? Oh, sorry.
Leo will stop. Like as you approach, Leo says, here he is. Just as I was saying, my lord.
Good to see you, Leo.
Seems a sort of victory you've come up with a plan forward. Then.
Well, I'll be honest, it took some debating. I'm pretty confident that moving through the forest is a smarter choice, given recent events, as you suggested, Sir Leo. Though Edrich is pretty confident that the open roads are more important as a symbol. Still, I suggested breaking our forces up into 2 columns. It should make it easier for moving through the uneven terrain, and be able to allow the Earl some level of maneuverability just in case the worst happens.
Roderick nods to that. Very well then. That's to the west. Leo nods. Yes, Corinium and then up from there. Through Lambert Castle, Learstown, and then finally into Lindenpool and on.
Good. Leo, will you help me organize the columns? I want to make sure that we keep things looking as least suspicious as possible while still keeping the Earl plenty protected.
He shrugs, nods. Very well.
Thank you.
All right.
Now, which one of them are going to be in close proximity to me?
I think all of them. I think all of the ones that you've got a grudge against are probably going to be close.
I think all of them too.
Yeah, they're probably pretty close. I don't know about directly near you, but they all ride very close to the Earl, right? They're the Earl's household knights, so it would be the closest position of bodyguard kind of thing, right? Any Any details, anything you want to add there before we hit Levkomagus?
No, man, I'm good.
I have one quick question. Beyond the obvious issues of Silchester County, why are we just passing straight through Levkomagus? Is it speed, or is it something else that the Earl's got in mind?
Yeah, Levkomagus into Silchester, where you're to meet up with the remainder of the Earl's.
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
Because the Earl has places all over Logris that owe him fealty. He is a major.
Indeed.
He's considered like a major baron, is the way to think of that. Where he's a baron of multiple keeps outside of an entire county that he also has pretty much under his thumb. He's the closest thing to one of the dukes that's not a duke. Like there's no one else that's
He's big cheese.
yeah. There's no one else that is of his level of sort of warlord that isn't a duke or a king. So
He's a tasty Havarti.
As you ride into Levkomagus, or ride to it, you see that it is currently the gates are closed, and there is a man that stands atop the wall, a knight. Calls down, "Hail, friends!"
Hail.
Perin looks to Florence and goes, Florence, would you like to do the honors?
Of course. We are riding through. We simply wish to pass the city. We have no plans to stop by. We come with us on the orders of the prince and acting regent.
Prince Madoc, you say?
Indeed,
Do I see
the very same.
Do I see the Earl's flags?
Indeed, yes. We ride in his name.
And who are you, Sir Knight?
I am Sir Florence. Perhaps you've heard of me. For one reason or another. He says with a big grin.
Perin calls out too. He goes, you're addressing the Baron of Axe.
He says nothing in
Edrich
return.
shakes his head, but he can't help but a little smile.
Awareness test.
These people are definitely acting funky.
Something's not right.
Oh, they're fine.
Success on
They're
awareness.
Fine. They're fine. We're
Crits!
fine. Critical!
Very nice.
Write down
I'm
that number,
tuned
buddy.
in.
That's 7
I
glory
wasn't
for
paying
you.
attention before, but now I am.
Now you're human.
So I think Florence, because he's ahead, you're in the position where you can see when he's kind of looking back a little bit. There's someone else there, and he's talking to them, and he sends them running. And he kind of waylays you with a few more questions and asks you to hold for a minute, and then that runner comes back. So anyone who passes, you see the runner come back, but you didn't see the runner leave.
I've seen this happen before. They're going to start throwing cows at us pretty soon.
Right?
Yeah.
The knight says, tell the Earl that it looks as if our gates are jammed this day. You'll have to ride around these roads to continue on to Silchester. It is Sir Blaine's deepest regrets that you cannot ride through Levkomagus this day.
Come again? I'm sorry, I thought you said that the gates were jammed.
They are, in fact, indeed, very jammed.
Really?
Perin will ride forward a little bit here.
I think also Florence would turn and go, obviously bullshit.
Yes.
Obviously.
Forgive me if it seems that you misheard, but we are on an urgent mission from Prince Madoc. This would be the fastest way through. Are you certain that there's no way that we could figure out how to get the gates working? We've got quite a few talented minds here.
We are, in fact, quite certain. The gates are jammed. Best of luck, Knights of Salisbury.
Oh, it's no problem. We might be able to help you in that. In fact, we can knock them down for you if you won't open up.
At this, Edrich will ride up and go, Sir Florence, I feel a little hypocritical saying this, but this isn't a fight we need to pick.
I'm just
Sir
having a
Blaine
little
will be dealt
fun.
with soon enough.
I'm
Hmm.
just... Just a bit of
Little fun or no, those
Sir-
are fighting words. Take it
Sir-
from someone who has received and given many.
So Jarren's going to ride up and say, Sir Knight, what is your name?
Oh, my name? I am. Hold on one sec. Sir Aldwin.
He's scared of dragons.
You can ignore the rest. I just need a name.
Another one.
Sir Aldwin. We'll remember that name.
Well,
I'm-
I wish you luck on the rest of... Oh, God.
I'm sure Prince Madoc will be happy to hear that you eventually get this gate working. It is an important position.
It is indeed.
I know.
One might say it separates Sarum from the rest of the known kingdom. Good day, Sir Knights, and best of luck to your Earl.
And same to you. Oh, and do make sure that your runner sends my regard to the fuck, what's it called?
Blaine's.
The steward of Sarum. Of Lovecamagus, actually. It's
Yeah, he says nothing in return. He doesn't look offended either. Obviously, he's playing with bigger. Like this is a pretty. He's not just snubbing you guys; he's snubbing the Earl here. So this is.
The
He's
Earl himself,
Yeah.
yeah.
he's
This is-
doing his job.
Yeah, that's 100% it. Yeah, this is. I think you guys are pretty clear. This is a purposeful snub. No would-be knight would keep the Earl himself.
Yeah.
Waylaid. Even if it's a simple hour out of the way, which is what it'll be for you, you know.
Blaine's
Yeah.
just fucked up so bad. I was gonna play Peacekeeper. That is not happening anymore. Blaine's is fucking dead, man.
As
on the
that's
shit
as that's
list.
running through your head, Edrich will lean in to the Sword of Victory and say, Sir Blaine's will not be a problem for much longer. But for now, at least, we must go around. I see no harm in telling the Earl of this news.
To be honest, I was going to suggest it anyway. You don't need to ride through Lovecamagus.
It's an
It's-
inconvenience which will ultimately fall to nothing.
It's going to upset the Earl, as it has me.
Then are you
In-
going to tell him? Or shall I?
It'd be best if I did it, I feel.
Jarren nods and says, Insults do not go unanswered, but we do have our duty. We must keep traveling.
Yes, that is the truth of things.
My aunt came to visit me recently, and I assured her that I would stand with you, that while I would stand with you if it came to a conflict, that I had nothing against Blaine's, and that I wished for her safety. That has not changed, but my opinion of Sir Blaine's is in the dirt currently. This is a very petty move for him.
You need not trouble yourself, Sir Perin. I'm hunting down Sir Blaine's brute squad from a decade ago. I have names, and once I find them, we will have justice.
That
This
I
is
don't think Jarren's aware of that, so that might be.
Yeah. Jarren raises an eyebrow and says, Sir Blaine's is a brute squad.
Quite so. Some that he used in the past, and one I expect, as indeed your brother does, that he used in the attack on Earl Roderick 10 years ago at this point. You needn't worry yourself about it until I have concrete evidence, but it's something that I've been doing. And he nods to Sir Florence ever since you, well.
Think
It is It is far too late. The conclusions that Jarren has already drawn is on his face.
I was about to say, I think Perin, like, at first he does, like, I don't think he was there, so I think for a while there he was like, what are you talking about? And then when you mentioned the attack on Earl Roderick, Perin was like, what? That was, oh yeah. Oh, didn't somebody important die? Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no.
Sir Jarren, do not worry about it until it's over. Your brother and I have this well in hand.
Sir Jarren's face is just dark as he's recalling how his uncle called out Blaine's, I believe, at one of the feasts. And, you know, all the memories coming back. But he just gives a nod, but there's no real expression of other than frustration on his face.
Edrich will turn on his horse and ride towards the rest of the people, and in his mind, no one inconveniences me on my watch!
I think if it's okay, Bob, I know we got a schedule to keep, but if it's okay, I think I'd like Perin to try to catch up with him and speak with Edrich alone, just for a minute.
It's what this episode's all about, man. There's gonna be some
Perfect.
stuff, but yeah,
Perfect.
We gotta have some room for a role play for sure.
As Perin kind of rides up, he catches up before Edrich has a chance to catch up with the rest of the group, and he goes, Edrich, you've mentioned your plans with Sir Jarren a couple of times. No, Sir Jareth, a couple of times now. What exactly are you planning?
My plan is, when the trial happens, which is essentially a duel between Sir Florence or his second, and Sir Blaine's or his second, to present this. There is no need, there is no question of an infringement on anyone's honor. Instead, there will be plain guilt upon the head of Sir Blaine's. If not, the duel will happen regardless.
I see. It could be your penchant for the macabre, but your wording has felt far more dangerous than that.
It will end in his life. No one can assassinate a count, no matter their station, even attempt to do so, without significant punishment required.
I agree, which is why your wording was somewhat concerning to me. I might advise you to consider how you say things a little more carefully. The ambiguity does not always lead to the best of assumptions.
I have discovered, even in my youth, that the way I say innocuous things seems like I'm threatening someone's life.
I think he smiles a little bit and he goes,
Yeah.
I wasn't even sure who you were threatening when you just said innocuous, but I was pretty certain, yes.
Regardless, trust me in that everything I do, in the memory of the one who raised me to knighthood, I will do so in a just manner.
I think his his smile gets a little sad when you say that, and he goes, of course. You know, if you'd like, next time we're at a feast that Kane's in attendance to, I'd be happy to have him give you some pointers on how to lighten up your tone a little bit. It might make you a little bit more, palatable, we'll say, to pleasant conversation.
If Kane interacts with me during a feast, it will not end well for either of us.
Oh, I find that hard to believe.
He is very charming. You will remember the last time he was like shoved, like to dance with your wife. The death glare that Edrich gave Kane, and how Kane was like,
And Kane got off scot-free that time. For
that
now.
time. For now. But yes, Edrich will say, Perin, I realize each of us have concerns about the other, what we might do. I'm not planning to assassinate a knight.
Good. And I trust your word at that. For what it's worth, Edrich, I don't think we always agree on the path that should be taken, but I do believe that that path is right for you and that you will do amazing things with it. Don't ever be in doubt of that.
That's the thing. I don't even know if the path that I'm on is the one that's right for me. I've just followed it, and so far it's gotten me here. And I don't quite know if the road less traveled would have been better, or indeed if the one I'm on is the best of all possible worlds. I can only hope that it isn't.
Well, let me repeat some very good advice I got from somebody not that long ago. Sometimes you're put in a position that is not ideal. You have ideas and dreams about where you wanted things to be, but you find the value that you can provide and the strength that you can give from where you're at. You make the best of it, and you be proud of what you've accomplished so far. It may not be the road you've chosen, Edrich, but it doesn't have to be a road you dislike either.
Perhaps so. And in regards to that aphorism, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Thank you, Sir Perin.
Thank yourself. It was your advice. And he will split his horse off and leave Edrich to go and do his business.
All
His
right.
business.
Does anyone? I imagine you guys are continuing on from here to just gonna go around.
Yeah,
Uh,
man.
Yeah. And did you want to talk to the Earl, or did you want to just have it updated? Like, do you
I-
want to see his reaction?
I
Do you
think
wanna-
I would like to roll a courtesy check, if possible, to avoid aggregating an already sore issue.
Yep.
Otherwise, I don't need to do that in the scene, I don't think.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, something that the Pendragon does support that I kind of forget about sometimes is its ability to go like micro and macro real easy. Like, here, let's summarize this in 3 different roles. Okay, that was an entire. Well, that's not a fumble.
The fumble.
It's not a
It's
fumble.
not a fumble.
Can you
It's just-
imagine?
I
Just
think
walks up and. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Sorry, cut me off there, Zach. I just think in this case, it's not so much that Perin does something terrible as much as the Earl is already pretty triggered by Mr. Blaine's here. So any reference to being slighted by Lev Kamagas, he's swearing. He actually rides forward and yells at the wall for a few moments, and then starts leading the force off.
I would
Fine.
too, man. I would too. That's a real petty move, and
Yeah.
he's outwardly defying the crown for it. Like that's insane.
As he's like going up to the wall, swearing and threatening the guard, Edrich goes, "But when I do it, it's wrong."
Yes,
Of course. He's an
correct.
Earl.
Yes, I'm glad you understand this.
Good thing in our baggage train we brought along those trebuchets, so let's get started.
Right? That's
None
our
of us
peace
have- none
envoy
of
to
us are the
Malahaut.
engineers.
Yeah.
We bring
show up
siege
at
engines
Malahaut
with
Suddenly
us.
turns into a siege. And
we show
Who
up
would've
at the door
thought?
at
We had
Why
Malahut's
were
no
you-
doorstep,
idea.
Why were you 6 months late?
and
we
covered
were
in
sieging
blood.
Kamagas.
Why are you all covered in blood? We're a peace party.
Don't
We
judge
attacked
us.
our own kingdom, so we wouldn't attack you. Be grateful.
Okay, we're gonna do a couple of things here. The first thing I wanted to do is just kind of point out the road ahead. So on this map, I think I got you on the right map. Looking at it from the county's perspective, you're going Silchester to
Yep.
Gentian, up to Clarence, up to Warensis, up to Lambert, and then up to Linden, and then into Malahaut from there.
We've done it,
That'll be the plan. You have not yet done.
and no
We
ambushes.
have not succeeded.
We're- We did not skip
Without a
that far
scratch.
ahead. I'm just showing you the road ahead. I also want to know, why is Roderick meeting. We talked about his lands, just putting another fine tune on it. Roderick, the Count of Salisbury, or Earl of Salisbury at this point, he's the Baron of the Castle of the Rock, Castle Borders in Salisbury, the Castle of Vagan, which is the one that Elad is the castellan for, Duplain, and then he's the he runs a Roe Ford in Thamesmouth, Kingstown, which was the recent storyline we went through that Liam ran in Heartland. He had territory in Caircolin. He doesn't really anymore. No one does. He had territory in Caerwent, also gone now. And that's his stuff. He's described in the book as a powerful lord of an ancient and widespread realm. So there we go. So I thought as we go into Silchester, like the city of Silchester, which is where you are on your trip right now, it'd be interesting, Liam. I need your help on this
Liam.
one. Yeah, I need your help on
I
this
am
one.
Liam. Yeah,
So-
I love helping.
So, we're gonna do a bit of a scene, and the Knights of the Sword can be here listening. They are in the Earl's top knights, right? But the Earl is meeting up with a number of his other retinue. There is someone very important who's missing from this retinue right now. One Castellan of Kingston.
Oh.
This is the plot that you ran for Open Pendragon.
Oh, that's right. I named him the wrong thing.
What did you name him?
I called him Tristan.
Oh no, he can have his own name. He's just the
Oh,
Castellan.
perfect.
Yeah, his
Then
role-
perfect.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's the keep of. He's the one who keeps.
His
the
name
Earl's,
is a castellan.
Yeah,
His name is in cast. Yeah. So yeah, Baron Tristan is gone and replaced is his daughter currently. Her name is. She is. Hang on, I have it written down in one of the folders. Where did it go? Where did
The
it come
folder.
from? Where'd it go? Everard.
Okay. So
And I can send you I can send you her picture too, Bob, if you'd like.
yeah, just a minor retcon on that too. He would have been Castellan, not a baron. Technically.
Castellan, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which isn't that important to note. He behaves like a baron in the place of the baron. So yeah. He's basically
Perfect.
the fillet. He's like the steward of Gondor, basically. That's what's going on. A steward of Minas Tirith, anyways. So we're gonna set the scene. It's Silchester. You guys get in. This is an old Roman city, not quite as bustling as Londinium, but pretty significant. I forget where Silchester is in reality. That's always fun to look at.
There, I guess. No,
Yeah,
there we
I
go.
just meant what real city, what modern city. Not important. I can always try and figure it out, anyways.
Leeds.
Hampshire. There is a place called Silchester, so it's still there, but it's in Hampshire.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. It could
Old
be.
Hampshire.
Uh,
Not to be confused
think
with
it'd
New
be the
Hampshire.
same.
it is Hampshire, actually. I just looked it up. So.
Oh.
Yeah. So, so in Silchester, very old Roman city. When you've passed through a lot, basically anytime you go to London, it's just the way you go. You get here later than you want to. They actually have to open up the gates at night. The roads are normally open. I think it's probably that initial worry as you get in. You're like, oh, they're not going to try to shut the gates on us here, too, are they? They don't. It's just late. It's like you get here after dark. Most people are heading to bed, but
Yeah, we would have been here during the day if somebody else had let us into their gates so that we could camp properly. You know,
Yep. As you're led into Silchester, the Earl is meeting with some of his regular knights, but also some of his distant vassals. So the vassals that hold his lands in Thamesmouth and up in Heartland. I want to do this scene, Liam, if you want to play the daughter and
Yes, I'd love to.
The
We
Earl
can even,
is interested in knowing what happened to his castellan, and he's only
if you'd
had
like,
rumors and secondhand information. So.
if you'd like to keep the others here too, we can just say that Perin is unable to make it for whatever reason. He's busy taking care of another responsibility. You know,
Perin could also just be in the background of it. You know what I mean?
it's fine with me.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I know that's a little weird, but like so you
No,
don't
it's
miss out on
it's
intrigue.
fine. It's fine.
So as the Earl gathers with the remnants of, and it's a bit less of a retinue than he'd like, you know, you're only about 50 strong at this point. He looks to the daughter and says, what, like, is she a maid? Like, is she like of age, like 18 plus or something?
Yes, she's pretty young, but she is of age. She has not been married yet, and the former Castigar did not have another heir, so she's in charge for now.
Milady, what happened to your father? I've heard second-hand accounts, nothing more.
There's been some debate about that, my lord. What's evident was that he was murdered, but exactly why and by whom was up to some interpretation. The king's courts have ruled that it was a few foreigners that came over and were trying to secure some wealth at our expense. However, I believe personally that it was a Saxon agent that did so.
I love that. Is that Thomas's reaction or is that
The eye
Edric's
roll?
reaction?
That's Edric's reaction. That's Edric's reaction.
So at this point, he sighs. I understand. Heartland isn't a place for you now. We'll return you to Sarum by Christmas.
My lord, I hate to object, but my father did a very good job of keeping things as safe as possible. I believe that Heartland would be at a loss without proper leadership, and I believe I can provide it until you find somebody else who can do a finer job.
Very well. I can see you're brave and committed. That's all he says at that point, but I think the undertones of that comment is, I'm going to wed you to the next castellan.
There is very much a rolling of tension in her whole everything. But she just smiles, and it's a very sweet-looking smile, and she goes, "Of course, my lord. Thank you for your generosity and for your understanding."
You've served well, and I would hope that the funeral can be to your father's wishes, whatever they may be.
He did not die a good death, my lord, but it was one that he expected. It was not the first attempt on his life. It's a shame that it was his last.
If things go well in our trip north, I'll see about positioning additional men in the castle. I'm curious what's going on in Heartland and everything around the Saxon shore at this point. It seems unwise to keep it down to a skeleton crew.
I'd be very grateful for that, my lord. Heartland has stood strong against the Saxon raids, and my father did very well with the resources he had.
And I think with that, is there anything you guys want to add to this? If not, I will continue on because I am conscious of not spending all night on this. Yeah.
Other than Florence's comment, everyone's on. That's certainly unfortunate. I have to get a new castellan as soon as possible.
Right? Everyone in there is like taking notes. Like, who's next? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Edrich says, at least this murder isn't 10 years old.
4 years old, you mean?
Yeah.
It's
So-
worse.
Oh yes. Wait, was it 4 years ago?
it was very
He was
young.
4. No,
This
it was a long
4
time ago.
when
He
it
was 4.
Perin.
Oh no, sorry. What I meant by what I said was at least this trail hasn't gone cold for 10 years.
Oh,
Right.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the
I
only
mean,
thing
you say that, but she's pretty convinced that the people who were punished for the crime were not responsible for it. So there's that.
Hey.
Yeah, the only
Hey,
thing
if
from
she-
Sir Jarren under his breath is just Saxon's using poison now.
That's
Yes, they
Not
have been known. to.
new?
Perin kind of speaks up and he goes, I heard that, and Jarren, do not repeat this. I heard that Aurelius might have been killed by a Saxon spy.
I've heard the same thing.
Is that not common knowledge? I thought it was.
No, not to the public. Not to most.
A Saxon
It
killing
is-
the king would be a bad blow.
Quite so.
That was ages ago.
And thus it is more important to keep that hidden. If it is revealed, then it will reveal a lack of trust of people, and it's this whole thing.
Not to mention, it would show a level of strength to the Saxons. King Aurelius was very strong and very well loved. If a Saxon was able to kill him, a Saxon could kill anybody. And while for you and I that would strengthen our resolve, I can imagine certain other parties seeing that as a reason to jump ship.
What are they going to do? Side with the Saxons?
Perin gives Florence a very deadpan look.
All right.
Fear drives people to do strange things. Regardless, I will give my condolences to the lady of the manor, and then we can head on our way.
You pass from Silchester the following morning to Stone Height into Barbary, and then into Corinium. While you're passing through the forest for the first time between Barbary and Corinium, you notice that the 2-column march doesn't work so well through the forest. That's the hunting roll that Perin failed. You start to realize that you have to put like kind of alternate plans around, so you end up still guarding the Earl, but things are less safe. You're not able to. Sometimes you're down to a single man, and what's clear is that the road was a bit wider before. It's lost some width. Like you used to be able to ride through a forest like this on like a King's Road, two horses aside, easy, even through the most narrow points. Not so much now. So, another night in Corinium brings you in for a very long ride into the forest. You pass through Kindtown and then into Lambert Castle. Before
I love how it's being tracked by the little shield. Sorry, you go.
No, it's all good. On your way to Lambert Castle, I want you to make some awareness rolls for me.
Indeed. Oh, man.
Love awareness rolls on the road. Hell yeah, I am on a roll.
Oh, it's a
critical,
crit.
man.
Enough crit.
Your second crit.
God
This
damn.
is remarkably
it's
like
what?
perceptive.
It's what?
Remarkably perspective.
It's remarkably.
Remarkably.
Oh.
Sorry, I wasn't even doing that. Remarkably perspective, Florence. There we go.
Wrong. I was just gonna put on some music. I will keep it on that. I think the first one to see it is Florence immediately. With that, make sure you note the 7 glory for that crit.
Yep.
Already done.
Followed quickly by Jarren. You see something like Florence kind of calls it out, and Jarren's like probably pretty close by, which is why Jarren spots it as well. You see swinging in the trees ahead.
Monkeys?
Right. As you get a little closer, it's very clear these are bodies. Hanged knights, looks like. Still in their armaments.
I see. Do they? Any of them have any sigils on their armor or heraldry?
They do, in fact. As you approach, I'm assuming that all of you are more or less together, so we'll give everyone the chance to check this out. You can do heraldry at +10 or recognize at +5. You will get different things for each. Recognize will be more distinct than heraldry. Recognize means you know
I'll
the
do
person.
heraldry.
Recognize is better for me, so I might see that. Hell yeah.
And Perin, actually, you can add a +10 to either.
Oh
Because-
no, I hate that you mentioned that.
Ooh.
Oh no.
That makes sense for Jarren, though. Like,
Jarren's like, well,
Who the fuck are they?
why are they up in the trees?
Mark, instantly you recognize these are some of the prince's household knights. Not Cadfile, but these are some of the prince's household knights.
Oh shit!
Oh shit.
Just checking something
These
out
are the
here.
prince's retinue.
If you see any strange symbols in the trees, get ready to fight.
Do we know about that?
I'm
No.
sure our cousins told us.
He probably
No,
he's probably mentioned it
'cause-
to you.
well,
in that
actually,
case, yeah,
technically
probably
your
not,
cousin.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Our
Oh yes.
our family
My
members
cousin,
not
your
so much,
half-brother.
because
Yeah,
our
fair
family
enough,
forgot.
Fair enough.
Florence was
Yeah.
there, and he still
I think
doesn't know.
Edward. That's
Which is
true.
very
Remember?
unbad.
Florence is actually part of it. He's like, what? Oh yeah, that old story that they used to tell.
That was weird.
I guess if you believe that.
Goratrix, yeah. Goratrix goes, "We live on a placid sea of ignorance, and it was not meant that we were to venture far. So that's kind of why I do my whole thing. It's worked out for me."
I don't know. I only believe in one God, the true God,
The big one.
The big one.
the big one.
Big one,
That's how
the
you
big
tell.
spirit.
Okay, so this is, and I'll mention them in here so I don't, because I'm gonna butcher the pronunciations. I'm sure.
Well, did we lose our cameras on the stream?
Probably because I put the cameras have been messed in OBS. I don't know how to fix that right now. It's like if I put another window over the top of my OBS window, I used to be able to do that just fine.
Yeah.
It would work, and now it yells at me. So sorry, I just lost. There we go. Yes, I got all 3 of them. Okay.
This is good news for linguists.
Yeah.
Oh.
3
did
names
I-
we've never heard of and never seen.
Okay, good,
And
good.
not able to pronounce.
You were so young.
It's
Or
Len and
old.
Lon.
It's Sir. I'm gonna try this, Sir. The first one's the one I'm gonna stumble over. Sir
Egregious.
Urgibret. Urgriad,
Urgriad.
Urgriad, Sir Urgriad,
Agreed.
Sir Lane, and Sir Ian. Easy enough. We'll just make them their
Yeah.
weird pronunciations for Lane and Ian, and then Sir Urgriad. But you
Somewhere
for
there's
those
a weird vigilante just like going, "Stop having vowels! You have enough! Does the greed of the upper class." Sorry, you go.
So this is interesting for 2 points. Why the hell does Madoc have knights out in the forest way to the west right now? His own personal knights? Didn't hear any news about that. That seems strange. On top of that, the three of them look like they were they have holes in them too. Not like arrow holes, more like javelin holes. Like it looks like they got hit with an ambush and then hanged after, left to be eaten by crows, which is a very dishonorable thing to do. Or rather, probably in this era, it's more like something you do out of hate and spite.
Somebody's got hate Logris out there.
You, for Jarren, Jarren did not pass, but when the names are mentioned out loud, Jarren, you know one of them because Sir Ian had sword 23. So he was on your list.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. You were considering a tangle with him eventually.
Yeah, he was on the list.
I guess you win by default.
Yeah.
He takes out a scroll. He doesn't know which one. He just scratches
Cross
off
the
a
name
random
off.
one.
Priest, tell me which name is Ian.
I
I
think with
love
this,
that running
Florence would
gag.
look up and go, yeah. Florence would look up and go, seems the Saxons are back again. Though I guess they never left.
This is a bad omen.
Quite so. These were well-equipped people and well-to-do. If they were of the prince's own retinue, something's in the air. I do not like it.
But
Hope
what were
he's
they
all
doing
right.
all the way out here?
It's very far
Surely the
north.
prince would be in Londinium.
It's far further north than I would like.
In either case, we should probably cut them down and bring their bodies to Lambert Castle. Then they might be sent off to the proper locations where they can be buried.
How long have the bodies been up there? Is there a way to check? Are they like bone or rotten or?
Yeah, I think it's probably your best bet is probably first aid because you don't have anything more advanced than that.
Yeah. Let's give it a go.
And
Bare failure.
Well, he's
Almost
definitely
crit.
dead.
he's a dead one. So Jared's going to, as they're getting the bodies down, is going to be doing a circling around a bit, perhaps off the path a bit, to see if he can find any Saxons hiding in wait or tracks. Like if it was a large group that ambushed them, they may have left tracks.
Okay, hunting rule.
Ah,
Okay.
no.
Well, you're still gonna get some stuff. Same with you guys with first aid. So, maybe I'll check in with Perin and see what Perin's doing while the other three are doing their thing. So we have one checking for tracks, two trying to determine sort of how long they've been here.
Yeah, while like getting them down and ready.
Yeah.
Perin is going to try to organize the formations to best respond to ambush. He's gonna,
Warn the Earl.
have basically he wants to like the idea that he's got here is he wants to try to the front column, whatever one's leading, is gonna have a couple of people in the back ready to book it backward towards Roderick and warn him. If in hopes that they'll attack the first group. You know what I mean? He basically just preparing for possibility. Like, hey, everybody, let's be ready. There's bad juju here.
So you can just give me a battle test on that one. Yeah.
Oh, you spoil me. You spoil me. That's a success.
Battle of the bands.
So you alert the Earl, you get everyone kind of into position and into a defensive or cautious ride from here. You're not far from Lambert County at this point, or Lambert Castle rather at this point.
Yeah,
What
that
it, county?
is not reassuring though, because it happened out
Yeah.
this far out here once already.
To 3 knights, not 50. So there is that. It would be really dumb to try and assault like a group of 50 knights unless you have like a singular-minded assassination plan. You know, like I'm gonna die and take that guy with me. It seems
What are
weird.
they doing?
Yeah.
Huh.
Seems really weird to you.
Indeed.
For Mark, as you're taking, I'm gonna go through each of the people. So we'll start with Florence. We explained Perin's point. I think the battle roll too, Perin. I think you get a sense that they were ambushed, probably, without giving you too much more. It's like while you're getting into a defensive position, this is a really good. This is a really like poor place of ambush. It doesn't look like they were attacked like from the sides. This is probably them happening upon them on the road.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why would Saxons be traveling the roads? This is making me more and more concerned. The more I find out about this, the less comfortable I feel.
Yeah.
We could have headed east.
So Mark, for Florence, as you're taking them down, you see that some of them, like some of the 3 knights, some of their armor is missing. Like they have been pickpocketed a bit. Like, clearly, there's been some local bandits that have come through. So it's been a few days probably. You also see that the crows have started pecking, so their body's not in great position right now. Yeah. Not the funnest sight or this most wonderfully smelling sign. And then to kind of elaborate on that a little bit more for Edrich, I think you figure they were dead before they were hanged. Like they were probably killed.
Yeah.
Hung up, and it's been at least a few days.
Yeah, left here as a dishonor or warning.
Yeah. And Jarren, for your hunting roll, you realize that there are definitely a lot of now. It's hard to trace. Like, is it just really popular? Lambert Castle's like not far from Learstown, and Learstown is like a pretty major site, right? But it seems to be an abnormal amount of like hoof tracks, and just what you're seeing like right around here as you're looking around. It seems like maybe there was a bit of a skirmish. Like this wasn't. You don't see a whole lot of foot traffic or a lot of signs of like. The imprints seem to be more hoofs than they do feet. So this might have been night on night action here. So.
Oh. This is getting worse and worse.
Now you're on the border of Cambria, right? You're on the border of Logris. Like it wouldn't be impossible to say that these were knights from Camliard or Powys.
Yeah,
I think it's pronounced Wish.
Wish? Is that what you said?
Apparently.
Wish?
after the Welsh hero, it was named after Pwish. Yes.
Wish. No.
Wish.
I'll get that one day, probably about 20 years from now in real life.
What's not to understand about push stab?
Anything
Not a
else?
fighter jet.
Anything else you guys want to sort out in this scene before we carry forward?
Not for me.
Honestly, no. Edric's
just-
disquieted, but he's fully prepared to head forward.
There is one thing I'd like to note. Do I have either Virgil or Chernarog with me?
You can. What would you guys have done? I forgot to ask that. Like, and that is something, Jarren, you're running into a little bit is like who you guys are pretty light on knights these days. So who looks after your manor while you're away? You have a good staff, but you don't have any knights down in Newton Manor these days. It's you and Blackwind now.
Yeah. Virgil definitely
Yeah.
trusts Chernarog more than he does his brother.
So yeah, bring Caranog. I think Virgil's probably at home. He rolled bad. He's on garrison duty this year. Little or no
Wow.
glory. Damn it.
Actually, you know what? Given what I asked Jarren to do back home, I think I'd rather him be home and have Virgil here.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry if that's inconvenient.
No, doesn't bother me. All right.
What's the debate? Let's kill things, Perin.
We're gonna speed
Why are we
things
discussing
along
which
Devil
road
on
to
your
take?
because I know we're not anywhere near Burcombe. I did want to do this, play, like have some of the fun of adventuring through. You hit Lambert Castle. It's just another nice night. I'm gonna continue on, and you guys can tell me if there's anything in particular you want to do, and I'll make note of anything where
I'm
I need
good.
you to do
Yeah.
something. Into the
As we get to Lambert Castle, we brought the bodies with us so they could be
right.
buried.
Yeah,
Place, yeah.
that's an important point, and I don't want to blow over that entirely. You can all take honor for that move.
Hell yeah.
I like taking honor.
It's the right thing to do.
We can't leave
It's
our
the
brothers
honorable
up
thing to do.
there.
I don't know about the right thing to do. It's the honorable thing to
Well,
do.
it's not. It wouldn't be the right thing to do to just leave them there.
Well, that's unfortunate. Anyway,
Yeah. Oh no. Anyway.
Crows are eating good tonight.
Those knights will be buried, and Madoc will hear about that. So that's good.
Yeah.
Into Lear's tent.
Questions. Got some questions from my boy.
I'm gonna get you guys to give me some fairy lore tests.
Fairy Lord. Knew he was a fairy.
Fairy Lord. Whoa. Whoa.
Zack.
Who-
No, sorry. Jarren. That's a hate crime. You can't say that.
I think
What?
that's a slur now. I don't know.
But that he's a fae?
He's a fae. There you go.
I don't know if he's a fae. Much better.
Ah. If I had activated a passion, I'd have got a crit. That's a shame.
He's a fae.
One of the fair folk.
He's
Yeah.
a fae.
He's a little bit to the side, He's
know?
creative.
What do you mean he's gay? No.
No. Oh.
No. I mean, he is one of the, the forces primeval. I mean, reality bends around them. I mean, he ain't straight.
Why don't you?
So
Okay,
he takes a while to get to his point.
there's no fairy lore successes there, which is good. I think we'll leave it at that. It's just a matter of
Oh joy.
There's some weird, sort of like local whispers and talk here, and I think it just none of it rings any particular interest to you as you continue on.
Yeah.
So none of it's spoken by
I-
anyone of sort of like, renown. It's all
Yeah, the kind of people that we'd like pay attention to.
look. We
I
don't
love
focus
how
on the sheer
Jarren
number of
and
times
certain-
people blame stuff on
Yeah.
necromancers. Like they're
Exactly.
bad crop necromancers. Like stubbed my toe earlier necromancers. Like there's a fair amount blamed on fairy and necromancers. We just gloss
I'll
over.
tell you what they do. They take away from the actual events, which are precipitated by necromancers and fae. Both of which Edrich and Jarren, who have the highest fairy lore, have experienced. So it's like these people have crossed us. We know slightly more than the average layman.
Oh brother.
Okay. So in from Learstown, you end up leaving the forest, and you get back into the forest, and you notice the forest is very thick here as you move further north, to the point where you have to be in single file the rest of the way. So as we're riding north, how do you want to position the Earl?
Can we put him right between Jarren and Edrich?
Yeah, you want them to ride honor guard?
Yeah. Any objections to that, boys?
I'm fine
I
with
think
that.
that works. I think though he should probably be riding either in the middle or in the back, so that if something does come up ahead of us,
Yeah.
we can kind of take
I
care of it.
recommend the middle. So whichever direction it comes from, he'll be as protected.
Agreed.
Unless they come from the side, in which case we're fucked either
In
way.
which case we're fucked.
Well,
Which is where an ambush
if
would
they
come from.
Yeah, exactly. If they come from the side, they're gonna have to worry about the trees as well, right? So
Yeah, and in the back we have the fake Count or Earl, dressed up as the Earl. So we have that going for us.
we do
Yeah.
what?
That's the secret.
Two
Don't worry.
Earls.
Don't worry about it.
Confused.
We've got the scare count.
So, I'm in the forest here, as you're kind of nearing what will be your last day into Linden Pool, and then from there it's Malahaut. You come across a lone rider. So the company comes to kind of a halt.
Mhm.
As the rider approaches under orders, so he waits, at a distance until he's told to march forward. So very clearly a knight, just by the way he's reacting. You can all give me a heraldry roll at +10, or let me see what his honor is. I'm gonna give you a bonus to recognize based on his honor. Okay. Since Mark already pulled the trigger on heraldry, this is someone from Castle Brun. This is one of Galhut's men.
Oh, interesting.
Indeed.
Oh.
For those that rolled recognize, though, let me get you that.
Well, we haven't yet because it was
Or
based on
those that want to do it.
Yeah.
I think you guys should make the decision, and then I'll tell you whether or not you want to go recognize or heraldry. Recognize with a question mark.
My recognize is better than my heraldry. The question mark will depend, but he's more a people person than a flag person.
Yeah, recognize for me for sure.
Yeah, same.
Okay. So his recognize, it's based on his glory, the number of thousands of glory.
Interesting.
His glory is 16,510. So plus 16 to the
Baby.
recognize.
This guy's glorious.
This guy's one of
This
the
guy is
most
famous.
probably he's extraordinary actually, which is above famous
Yeah.
in the glory chart, and that is I can't remember
that's right.
if Evo is. I think there's only one that you've met that's extra. I think this is the only extraordinary knight you've met. Become a little more common
Indeed.
in the round table era.
Yeah, when everyone's doing glorious deeds left, right, and center.
Yeah. Sir Onelin. So he's a household knight sworn to Castle Brun. He's getting up there now, which it kind of explains it. He's nearing 50 years old. So it still looks quite young. This is clearly he's like a Brad Pitt 50, if that makes any sense. He's one of those faces. His appearance is still 18 at 50. He's up there. And he looks like he's still tough.
Damn.
Yeah, he's still a really good fighter. I think
I'm 28 and I'm losing my hair. I don't know what it is with that guy, but I don't trust him.
Right.
I don't know. I always trust a pretty face. Anyway,
I know.
He rides forward.
Florence would ride up. Yeah, Florence would ride ahead to kind of meet him halfway. So nice. What brings you all this way?
Glory. I seek it, even in these years. I've been chasing
Glory.
news of an absent king. Sir King Pellinor. I hear that he is seeking after a great beast. And without war to participate in, it seems my best bet to help him.
Well, if you do find the king, There would certainly be a sizable reward in it too. You see, his brothers are looking for him.
I've heard. Have you met one of these brothers?
Indeed. He was traveling all of Logris to attempt to find his brother, searching the many different forests of rumor and kind of fairy nonsense.
I see. I think for Jarren, this was probably one of the few like names that you idolize as a kid. Come to think of it, like he's reckless,
Yeah.
16, high energy, swordsman, spear expert, valorous 20. You know, he's one of those.
Oh
guys.
yeah. Sir Jarren is kind of starstruck and not saying a whole lot.
Yeah. He just says, what brings the Earl this far north? Seems strange to see such a big retinue. Are you on your way to Pendragon? It's already been conquered long ago.
No, we seek not conquest. We are on a very important mission from the Prince Regent.
I see. Prince Madoc. I just met a few of his knights the other day.
Did you by happen to catch the names of these Knights of Madoc?
Yes, I recognized one of them. Sir Ian.
Ah,
think-
that's unfortunate.
Are we within earshot for this as well?
Yeah, you can be.
I think
because I think
Yeah,
the
you would
Earl.
be.
I think the Earl's coming forward slowly, and you could kind of break your position if you wanted.
Perin tries to get as close as he can. He goes, "How long ago was this?"
Oh, about a week or 2 weeks now. I'd say closer to 2 weeks.
I see. Did they say what they were doing for the prince up so far north?
He pauses. Prince's business, I presume. He knows more. I'm not going to make you roll intrigue for that. I mean, just intrigue if you at your own peril. If you fail it, you fail it. But you,
No. Perin
Whatever
kinda...
their business. Oh, sorry, you go.
Yeah, no, Perin just looks over at Edrich and Florence.
Yeah, I think Florence would just look over to the knight and go, "Well, I have some unfortunate news of the 3 Knights of the Prince. It seems as if they have been killed. We found their bodies hanged up in the trees not far from here. Oh, no, not far from Lambert Castle."
Lambert.
hanged? It's awful.
Aye.
Very... Indeed. Large wounds like javelins in them. They were clearly caught off guard.
An ambush. Cowards.
Indeed.
If you have knowledge of what they were doing to run afoul of such people, any information you could give would be very helpful, Sir. Sir Arnoland.
The Brown. Just call him Brownie.
And you knights are.
I think Perin like blinks for a second. Like,
I am Sir Florence of Edmiston and the Baron of Axe, and we are the Knights of the Sword of Victory.
Oh,
Servants to the King, and now to the Prince Regent.
Forgive my manners. Then.
And of the Dearer. Oh no, it is understandable.
hardly.
We've
our
been
fault.
traveling for quite a while.
Uncertain times.
And Sir Jarren actually seems a bit flustered. He says, "And Sir Jarren of Newton Manor, you said you were looking for war and glory. I must say that the Saxons on the eastern side of the island, plenty of war to go around there to defend the kingdom."
Yes, indeed. But I grow bored of skirmishing. I crave war. Conquest or questing. Something greater than just endless skirmishing. You know, Aurelius, the old king, rather, I had high hopes that we would find this realm in peace, at least Logris, and then we could concentrate on our enemies at hand. I've never seen a dragon, but I've always wanted to. Perhaps I'll vanquish one day. But I'm afraid you've come across an old man, wandering, waiting for the years that he can no longer ride, no longer hold the sword the way he used to. Until then, I'm going to make use where I can, and a name for myself. Even more so. I don't want any young pups outdoing me, as it is.
Well, if you'd like, you could ride with us for a time. I know you're coming down in the opposite direction, but, well, if things don't go well, I'm sure you'll have plenty to fight.
Where do you ride?
North.
We ride to Malahaut.
Yes, north.
He nods. Is it true that that Octa and Eosa escaped?
Regrettably, yes.
Then absolutely. Sounds like I might find some opportunity up there.
He is hoping. As for the questing beast, that sort of thing, these lands hold many primeval creatures and threats, many of which make a nuisance of themselves. Should you seek them, you will find them.
All right.
I can't help but notice that you never actually mentioned if the knights told you what they were doing. It might be useful for preparing for another such attack, just in case.
They did not, and they did not seem worried about such an attack.
May I roll intrigue on that?
Yeah.
Button push.
And just as a side note, Jarren would have shared with you guys what he found on his hunting, like that
Yeah.
horses were
The
involved.
horses issue, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to necessarily mention where we were going specifically.
It's fine.
It's fine. I'm
Let
sure
this
it's
guy go.
fine. Sure it's fine. Sure it's fine.
Probably fine.
That is an
So,
8 out of 19 success.
He is very clearly telling the truth, and yet that's not the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
But I think so. If there is a suspicion towards him being like more aware of their fate,
Yeah.
his reactions seemed quite sincere when you guys mentioned that they were dead.
Okay. But I do suspect he knows why those knights were up here, and that is something that Perin cannot let go either, so for now, he's going to let it go, but...
I will add that he's keeping quiet, and it seems to be like he's not willing to just share that openly.
Yeah.
You're guessing it's more speculative than for certain understanding what they're doing.
I think I've been wanting to talk to this guy again for a while anyway. I think I'll saddle up to him at some point during the last leg of the journey here, and I'll try to get some more out of him.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
good.
Jarren will also do that, but not for anything about the
Yeah.
intrigue. He is he's fangirling over this guy.
Right.
As well you should. He's got, like, 3 times our glory.
He's lived a long time, and he spends a lot of time doing like kind of adventuring like Jarren does too. You know, he's off a lot of
Oh, yeah.
places. You know, doing a lot of different things. We're gonna bring you into Lindenpool at this point, and
Hell yeah.
try to get through this as quickly as possible. We'll set a 5-minute timer because we really want to get you into Burke. Come and get some stuff going. But there is one key note in Lindenpool. You guys will remember specifically, actually, intrigue test. Let's see if you remember. I know we intrigue a lot, but I think it's important.
I have no complaints. I like intrigue.
Nope.
Oh,
Nailed it.
Intrigue tests, my friend.
So for those that pass, kind of what you gather is that Duke Corneus, he seems. Well, you'll recall from the last thing there was question on who to send north, and there was debate on whose right it was. I don't want to play it out in too much detail, but Corneus is hospitable, lets you all through, but he's very spiteful about not being the one chosen. He kind of spends a lot of time with the Earl, like telling the Earl, like, oh, and don't forget to, when someone like, when you take over someone's duty and they don't want you to and they can't let go, he's 100% doing that. Oh, and don't forget to do this. And King Heraut, you got to watch out for these things, and the Earl does his best to be just like patient and kind in turn, but he can't wait.
That's not the Earl's strong suit.
No,
Yeah.
he can't wait to get the hell out of Dodge. He's actually quite patient, but he's not courteous, if that makes sense. Like, he's hospitable, but he speaks his mind often. So he just ends up clamming up a lot and nodding his head a lot for the whole time that happens.
There was a reason why we didn't pick him to go, and it was because of, it was specifically because of the long history of hostility, but also because of this.
I'll talk with them.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
Don't worry, I got this.
Hold on. I'll talk to him here. I mean,
Let me take care of this. Give us your land.
right. And just a note as we pass through, this is where your former squire is from.
Hey, it's good to see him again. Gotta tell you, things have been bad since he left. But that's things were bad when he was
Yeah,
there.
he just say what else is new.
As-
Yeah.
Have things gotten worse? No, they've just stayed bad.
Yeah. They got slightly better for just long enough, like a climb up, just to dip back down again. So,
Yes, basically.
Mm.
I got married. Well, you were there at the wedding. But now my wife has been kidnapped. Oh, forgive me, Earl Roderick. Detained. But yeah, so we just catch up as we're passing.
As you guys clear Linpool, you only go a bit further north before you're, like once we get into here, we're talking a small ride north before you're out of Logris altogether. So you end up passing through Wintering Home, and then on your way to Burkham. Some of these names have different names, but they're the same.
We are in it now,
have a-
lads.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
As we're moving up, far towards the borders of Logris and beyond, are things overgrown here as well? Is it like realm-wide or closer down south?
So there's not a lot of forest. You can make a hunting roll.
Sure.
Oh, so close.
That's painful. That's painful.
It's hard to say. Though you're going through more like marshlands up here, and that's kind of what the north has a bit of, right?
Yeah.
We should probably get better at that. It comes up a lot.
you know that it's not so much that the forests have like sprouted where they didn't exist before, but it is like the forests have overgrown a bit. So anywhere where there were forests, they've condensed more.
Indeed.
Um,
Got you. But it's hard to tell here. Yeah.
So we're gonna do a quick conversation before we get to Burkham, and then we're in a Burkham. This conversation is as you're riding on the road. Now the good news is once you get out into these marshlands, you have really good like positioning. You're able to get into the two columns that you set up and organize in defense of the Earl. And as all of you are kind of around Sir Arnold at one point, and like keep in mind this is like a few days later, right? He's like,
Yeah.
So I heard some rumors when I was passing through Cambria, the west. Some of you knew Madoc, or at least your houses did, yes?
Say again?
That is correct.
Some of you are familiar
Indeed.
with Madoc quite well.
Yes.
Did he ever pass into the west for a period of time?
How do you mean?
Yeah. Do we know if he's gone that far into Cambria and such?
Do you know? I don't know.
Hmm.
You know, you know?
Not to my mind. I would
No,
assume the
no.
prince to be in Londinium.
Yeah.
I am certain he has traveled, particularly in his earlier days. But I cannot think of a specific instance.
The prince's attention has always been more eastward than west. Why do you ask?
It's just that, there are rumors out there about a king from the east, or prince from the east, rather. A romantic tryst and a child.
I wouldn't take too much stock in rumors. People talk, and oftentimes, the more people who talk, the less accurate the information.
You see, I would agree with you in most cases until his knights came in search of a babe.
It is possible that that could be evidence of that, or it could be that he was searching for his half-brother, who was himself abducted.
You're right. I did think it might be the missing boy Arthur.
Out of curiosity, is that what you thought the 3 knights you ran into were up to?
They were asking a lot of questions, yes. It seemed they were in pursuit of
About babes?
a child, a boy. And they were in search of. They described him as being likely a few years old now.
I see.
Was
I can tell you it wouldn't be unlike the House of Pendragon.
Do you say that?
Yeah.
I'll laugh at that.
It is accurate.
Yeah.
were there questions and searches for the 3 knights in any particular area or town?
You see, that's what's strange is I heard these rumors a couple of years ago in Cambria, but it wasn't Cambria they were searching. It seemed they were searching through the forest, specifically the forest, which has become oddly overgrown these last few weeks.
Hmm.
Then perhaps it was the then Prince Arthur.
Perhaps. Though Arthur
Strange
would be
thing
but
reflected either way. Oops, sorry, you go.
Arthur would be but a year old now, would he not?
Magic can do
Yes.
strange things with time. But yes, I understand what you mean. The implication is there and worthy of consideration. Though, what I find most interesting is the fate that befell the knights. It would seem to me already that their deaths did not look like coincidence to me. And knowing what they were looking for, something so important, it's possible that somebody does know where the child is, if this child exists, and is taking great pains to make sure that he remains absent.
Indeed. I thought the same. I know that there were many in the forest in the past year searching for Merlin. And I also came across a couple of false Merlins in my path.
False Merlins.
Indeed. Seems that the old Archdruid had many allies covering his tracks, as it were.
Sure is
Did
one
he pay
crafty old
old
pagan.
men? Yeah. Did he pay old men to dress in robes, or were they illusory? Tricks of the mind.
Some of the former, some of the later, I suppose. I don't know if it was coin. They seemed loyal. I suspected something with the old pagan religion.
I can't imagine somebody being willing to entrust their lives to someone like that.
The druids are a funny sort.
Yeah.
Perin goes, though we aren't addressing a very important question. Florence asked why somebody would want to hide the child.
Awareness test for Zack, real quick. And then he shrugs. The hell if I know. Though I'd say a prince's ransom would be quite large, would it not?
As would a claim.
It's the worth of a potential prince of the realm.
No, something in my gut tells me that it's different. There's a conspiracy afoot. I just can't...
When as there isn't.
Sir Jarren, as Perin is talking, you look up and you see Mount Damon, the very place where you launched your counterattack after Edward had died those years ago. Last time you've been up this far north. This is where you retreated to, and the tunnel of mist. That was all done here. Sorry, I just wanted to aside there. Liam, you can continue with the...
No, that was the thought.
That was before Edward died. Edward died during the counterattack.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. I always get that stuff mixed up. Yeah. So this...
Oh yeah, huh?
No, he didn't die during the counterattack because he died in that. Remember, he died in that.
It's true.
'Cause
He died before.
You played Cadfile. You were playing Cadfile in that.
Oh,
No, that was after the battle I played Cadfile. I didn't play Cadfile during the fight.
actually,
Everyone
I
was
think-
there.
Actually.
I think it might have been
Yeah.
before, because it was the same fight that Iranway was in.
Yes. What happened was we retreated from that fight because we were losing. Dalen went and
'Cause I threw the
Boratrix went.
I threw
but
the pan.
Edward stayed.
Here,
Yeah.
I'll show you. So you guys you went through Wintering House. You got ambushed in Pockling Town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
I
that
threw-
is where we lost Edward, because in Mount Damon, when we had that scene with that scene at night, like the downtime scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were playing Cadfile with Edward's body, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
other thing too is that Dallin threw the pan at Merlin specifically because Merlin just pulled that counterattack out of his ass after Edward had died. Like a ton of knights
he could've
died
done that
first,
beforehand.
and he could have done that first. Yeah, I think he died in the first assault, but you know what? I do not remember.
I don't remember either. You guys might be correct.
Yeah, I'm
I
almost certain
could've
because I've
sworn-
watched those
I
like
don't-
5 times. Yeah,
I don't remember playing someone else during that fight, though. Pretty sure I was Edward.
Not during that. Yeah.
During
I
the
don't remember if
counterattack.
you were there.
The second fight
Hold on.
wasn't
We'll
much of a
continue
fight.
on.
It was just remember you guys were
Yeah,
like you
we were-
overran them because you were like
yeah.
literally came out of
We
a
were
tunnel of
rolling at
mist.
plus 20 while they were asleep and drunk.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
That's probably it then.
The big fight was the first one, and you guys decided to go ahead to try and save like as many people as you could. It was kind of so you crashed into their back lines despite not having a good opportunity. I could be wrong. We'll go back through and see, but I remember Cadfile being like, "Edward's dead," and that being bad. But
I remember that, but I thought that was after the counterattack. But I don't really remember to be honest.
my stuff's getting mixed up. It's possible I'm wrong.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we'll continue on. We're gonna skip.
We'll continue on it.
We're gonna skip ahead to Abericum, which was the whole point of this episode. So you arrive in Abericum, or rather, you arrive to Abericum, and
Hell yeah.
I want to know from each of you, and we'll go starting with Thomas and down the list. Thomas, what would you like to know about more as you approach the city?
Defenses. I want to see if they're ready for an attack and where from. The Saxons have been a constant problem up here, and I want to know if the Centurion King of Malahaut, knowing that Logris, or rather King Uther, hated his guts, is facing more south to us or more everywhere else to the Saxons and our other allies.
Got it. Okay. We'll leave that at a battle test in a moment. We'll go to Mark. What does Florence want to know more about as you reach your birth?
Well, of course. Where is the Lady of Malahaut?
So you're interested in the faces. What who's who in the zoo as you're starting to approach. Okay.
Exactly.
We'll go next to Liam.
Hi. Remind me real fast what we're doing. I was reading something.
You're reaching Abericum. You're not in it yet. I need to know what your number one interest is as Perin as you reach the city.
Perfect. That's what I thought. All right, number one interest. So Perin's pretty certain that there's conspiracy afoot regarding this. He's got a lot of plates he's juggling, but his number one priority is securing Roderick, and he don't trust nobody here. So I think his first move is to send out some scouts to try to pick up the vibe and see what the risk of potential assassination could be.
And we'll go to Zack last.
Oh, Jarren's classic. See if he has to add any names to the list. So he's looking for warriors and knights. Which ones look tough? Which ones don't?
Okay. Noted. And we gave you a special. Didn't we give Jarren like a special? What do we call this?
Yeah, a directed trait.
What was that for?
Yeah.
What did we call that?
It's for his proud for informed duelist.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can make that roll as you approach. We're gonna start out. So 2 battle tests, the proud roll, and Mark recognize roll. Mark, you can add a +5.
Hey.
Failure in battle.
I love battle.
Success.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I'm so glad that you guys have me.
Now, Thomas, remind me of the nuance of your battle roll you were looking specifically for, just so I can read.
Defenses and what they were more focused on.
Okay.
Whether it was, us or everyone else Malahaut has to deal with.
This will throw you strangely, but it seems like the city is a bit more open, which is going to throw you for a loop a bit. Like it seems like its gates are open right now. It's going to throw you for a loop a bit to see that it's very full of foreign envoy. There are other envoys present here right now.
This is bad.
on top of that, I think what'll throw you off I had something else to add to that. What was it? You were oh, what way are they facing? They seem to be in like a, maybe not a peace mode, but they seem to be quite confident. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What'll throw you off is when Perin's riders come back and announce that the Earl has been asked to set up camp and wait outside the walls for now. Is what the riders come back with. So they're not being permitted into the city right now.
The Earl's not being permitted into the city.
I
I
feel like
suspect their guards will apply it to all of us.
I feel like we need to go and talk to the manager.
Let's get our haircuts all well and done.
How about the assistant to the regional manager?
Yeah. Perin will after hearing that he'll go, "Is that so?"
Right.
Florence?
Oh, I have a plan. With that, see Florence brush off his armor a little bit, checks his breath. Ready.
Wait,
Look fine.
wait,
you
wait,
always
wait,
look
no.
fine.
He's gonna go strolling up
No.
until someone puts a hand on his shoulder.
Wait.
He's
No.
seducing the guards.
Oh, unfortunately, I know exactly what Mark is thinking, but Perin wasn't fucking there, so he can't say shit.
Edrich, however, is going along because Edrich was there, and Edrich will say, Florence, the situation will require a different touch, I suspect.
Oh, come on. I won't be that much longer, and I'll be able to get the information we need pretty easily.
Fine. I will approach with you until they tell us to stop.
I'm gonna get back to Zack.
Oh, don't
in a
worry. I'm
second.
sure I haven't been forgotten. And you go back.
Okay, so we zoom in on Florence riding to the gate, and I'm gonna assume that to get a better view. Well, it sounds like Edric's gonna be there for sure, but I think Jarren is somewhere nearby as well, just because he needs a better view of what's going on.
Yeah.
Edrich has to keep it in Florence's pants, and if Florence doesn't do it, Edrich will.
Okay. So they stop you at the gate and they say, excuse me, foreign knights.
Greetings.
Hail.
I have an urgent message that must be sent to the Lady of Malahaut.
What?
You actually see her. You see her not far by. She seems to be talking to someone, Florence, and you notice who she's talking to almost right away. You recognize not only Lady Nest, but you see her talking to Morgoth.
Oh, buddy.
Okay.
Oh, buddy.
In which case, Florence will call out, Lady Ines! Lady Morgos?
They both look over.
Perin
Morgos
waves casually.
Yeah. Morgos smiles and looks back to Nest, and Nest starts to come towards the gate. Morgos follows.
Do you want to take this, Florence, or should I?
You see that Morgos also has a babe in her hand.
Oh.
Bummer.
Florence's name, though it seems that it's been taken away from Uther.
I see. In either case. Your ladyships, it's a pleasure to see you both once more. I'm surprised to see you here, Lady Morgos. I take it that your husband is also treating with the King of Malahaut?
Yes, indeed. We've traveled south. Just to make sure everything is in order. He shouldn't be long now. We'll be departing soon, but it is good to see you, Sir Florence.
It's good to see you as well. We should catch up at some point. Been a while
course.
since we last talked.
It's been
Pleasant-
some time. I wasn't a mother the last time you saw me. She smiles.
Yes. Congratulations.
Perin kind of elbows Florence a little bit.
In like
What?
arbor.
Pleasantries aside, your ladies' ships. Our scouts said that we've been denied entry into the city. We come with an envoy for the King of Malahaut, Centurion King, on behalf of Prince Madoc. Is there a particular reason why we've been denied?
Well, it's just that we weren't expecting you, Lady Ines says. But my brother does mean to treat, of course, with the envoy from King Uther. It's just that we are dealing with a number of northern kings right now. With that, a particular face walks by, and Jarren... God damn it, didn't work.
You got almost all of them.
Yeah.
He is Slender Man face. We get it.
You see... I think I got you on the map, so I can just do it that way. Hold on. I shall bring you over. So-
He's
Oh,
King
no.
of Gore.
Is it the Ray? It's the
Yeah, that
crow
guy.
God
Crow
damn it.
Crow
guy.
man.
King Urians is here. Urians is a very capable swordsman. He's up in the 20s with his sword.
Ooh, is he now?
Mm-hmm. There's just pictures of crows.
That's your
on the-
recognized role. That's what I'm getting. You remember him, hearing from him. He's from a small kingdom called Gore. So a lot of people refer to the land beyond Hadrian's Wall as Pictland, or they'll refer to it as the major kingdom, Lothian, up there. But it's actually a series of minor kingdoms, including the Kingdom of Gore and the Kingdom of Garlith, rather. But King Urians is here. You spy him. And then once Anest says her part, Morgoth interrupts and says, Sir Perin, I don't think the last time we spoke I had an opportunity to well, she smiles.
Public court meetings are not always the best place for conversation. It is
Indeed.
good to see you in good health, however.
Yes, the health of my child is what's most important to me. The road is not always the friendliest place, I'm afraid. But Gawain
So
did
we've
rather
seen.
well.
Yes. Well, perhaps you would allow us three in to negotiate to allow Roderick to spend the night as well. We came across a rather gruesome murder on the road, and some of us are anxious to make sure that our Earl is safe and protected inside the city walls. Maybe it's something that we can work out. I'm sure, if you're willing, Earl Roderick would be more than happy to assist in whatever negotiations. I'm sure he speaks for Logris in this, in these trying times.
With that, you see, I think, a face you all know pretty well, which
Oh,
is...
brother, another one!
You
They just
see-
keep appearing.
You see King Lot again. Faces. I didn't add these ones apparently. I
Yeah,
thought I had
I
added them
see
the
'em.
other day. But Lot is
I
up
remember
here, and Lot approaches Morgoth and kind of puts a hand, to her side and says, Sir Knights, Logris, so good to see you.
Hail, King Lot, your majesty.
King Lot.
Your Majesty.
Pleasure to see you as well, Your Majesty.
I imagine that King Uther's sent one of his lords in his place. I hear he took a rather gruesome wound.
Prince Madoc sends him while the king recovers. We're hoping...
Prince Madoc is
To-
recovered then. This is good news.
Yes.
Indeed. He is Prince Regent as of the moment.
We're hoping that with calmer heads present, and with the benefit of a wide view of the state of... It's not England right now, it's Britain, right?
Yeah, Britain would be the island.
A wide view of Britain. Perhaps we can mend wounds once made. Though it would be more difficult to do that from out here, as I'm sure you would imagine.
Indeed, but it is King Heraut who is king here, not I. All I can say is that, well, King Lot smiles. Lady Nest, please inform your brother that we are departing shortly. We'll make for the north soon, and I see no reason that the Prince Regent's envoy can't take our spot. Does that sound good to you? Lady Nest, intrigue test for anyone who wants to notice. She's been making
God.
She's been making eyes at Florence. I think Edrich, he just can pass.
Who is it?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
is it
Let's
making
see
eyes
if
at
Florence picked it up.
Florence?
Edrich is worried about multiple things at
Nope.
the moment, and this was the thing that he
love that
came for.
Florence doesn't
Oh
even
god,
notice.
you got a fumble.
No, he's got no fucking clue. That's a fumble.
Yeah. But yeah, Edrich knows.
Yeah, so anyone who passes, you recognize that she's making eyes at Florence, and it seems familiar, like the two have shared a moment of some sort, and you can take that whatever way you want to. So,
I think Florence is completely focused on King Lot. He goes, "Most generous of you, my lord." Well, no, your majesty, you would say.
Indeed. Well, King Uther is an ally by blood now, yes? Well, perhaps not by blood, but blood related to marriage. Well, it gets complicated, I suppose.
Far too complicated
His
for my blood.
alliance always are.
Well, I will organize my men and Urians. Urians kind of comes over, nods. He says, would you wish to ride with us? Urians nods and looks to Heraut and says, leaving so, or not to Heraut, looks to Lot and says, leaving so soon? And he nods. Yes, an envoy's come from Logris. I don't mean to keep them outside the city. Urian shrugs. Very well, Sir Knights.
Perin nods.
Your majesty.
Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
Now, I know that King Lot and the King of Garloth were allies with Uther by through marriage and alliance. Was there any talk of any kind of envoy going to the King of Gore, to King Urians, in regards to
I believe
fighting Malahaut?
he is by betrothal. He is our ally by betrothal because he is
Betrothed
I
to
believe,
Morgan,
betrothed
right?
to...
He's betrothed to Morgan.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Got you. So this is very bad.
I know it's weird.
All three of our allies.
It's like in the books. I
It's-
don't know what to do with
yeah.
it. Yeah, it's
I mean,
No,
this
no.
is
Those-
just what happened.
that era. Yeah.
No. It's bad from our perspective, and from the era, it's bad for strategic reasons that all of the allies against Malahaut are now treating with Malahaut, which is the reason why Edrich is so cagey.
The 8-year-old betrothal is weird too, but not in a way that we're like we're not bummed on the game for that. We get it. It's
She's
we're,
like
we're chopping people's heads off.
she's
I get it.
probably like 11 now. Now that makes it much better.
Oh, that's
but,
right. I
yeah.
keep forgetting
no,
that
that
time
doesn't make
passes.
Yeah.
It's like every time I see a Shazam media where he ages, and I'm like, oh shit, he's 14 now. What? Here he's whoa. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
interesting.
The guy playing Shazam is 20.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Edrich will nod to the kings as they go, and will shoot a sharp glance to Florence, who probably doesn't notice as he sees.
No, he's not paying attention to anything.
That's okay.
Good,
Perin's
good.
gonna say something. What the hell was that?
It depends on what you mean, because either is bad.
Either is bad. On one hand, our three most important allies in the north are treating with our biggest potential enemy.
The one
And-
specifically for whom the alliance was brought together for.
And
It seems with Uther's incapacitation, those terms were waived.
more than that, loyalty flows both ways, and Uther entrusted 3 people who likely despise him to be the closest to the ear of the 3 kings in the north.
Yes, this is a natural progression of things. Unfortunate, but not insurmountable.
We need to prevent war with Malahaut at all
By
costs.
any means. The second thing,
Well,
don't
friend-
worry about it.
Oh, go on.
Nothing happened. I made sure.
Yes.
Well, friends. Our Earl has been welcomed to the city. Why don't you go notify him? I'll make sure to
That's-
familiarize myself with the court and the dear lady and nest.
Yeah,
You're
about
coming with
that.
us, my lord.
God, tell me what to do. I'm a baron.
You two
The
know
last-
each other.
Yes, know each other quite well. Quite a fine
Mm.
lady. Quite a beauty, I might say.
Is she more
The
beautiful
last
than your
time-
wife?
The last time we
What?
were in this situation, I had to drag you off to fight Saxons to avoid political complications.
I think there's
Let's
probably
Wasn't
a
happy about it
point.
then.
I think there's a point that sets in Perin that realizes, while I was losing my hand, this is what Florence was
Yeah.
doing.
That's fine. He's not bummed. He's not. He knows what to expect. He's not a fool. Perrin smiles a little bit and goes, Florence, have you at all considered how many ears your wife has around all of Britain?
Well, we're not in Locust right now.
Well,
I-
aren't we looking for any way to build trust and friendship with Malahaut? I mean,
Jarren, I adore you.
Exactly.
Hi, Jarren.
Jarren
I
has a
adore
point.
you. Stay out of this
Jarren
one.
shrugs like,
The
Love it.
bonds that will grow upon that relationship are not fruits that one wishes to eat. Say nothing, Sir Florence. How about we just inform the Earl, and then we see where to go from there once we're allowed in the city.
Very well. With that, he'd look over to Lady Ness and go, My dear lady, unfortunately business calls my attention. But I do hope I'll be able to speak to you later. It's been such a long time, and I think we're in due need of a catch-up.
I would agree. I hope to talk to you soon then.
Until then, my fair lady.
And she's very much like she's higher intrigue you sense too. I think you get that sense that she's no stranger to the courtly ways as well. So she's not just some young maiden swept off her feet by Florence.
Edrich knows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Florence certainly has a type.
yeah.
It's women who could undo him socially. Every aspect.
You know what? I can't blame him for that. I'm here for it. I get it.
So
Um,
do you guys have anything in particular you want to? I just want to jump to the next part if you're okay with that.
Nope, I'm good.
Move forward.
Yeah,
I'm good.
A little bit. So with the passing of a couple of the northern kings out of the city, you are led into Burkham, which is a wonderfully large, very busy, probably the second, maybe not second, but it's up there like Londinium is. Very thriving, old Roman settlement, big walls, lots of things that have been lost, a lot of luxuries lost to the annals of time. And because it's like up here in the north, it's preserved. And honestly, it's London's so populated that it just kind of smells all the time. Like they haven't figured out all the modern ways to make it not. So it's somewhere up here like the north. It's not as populated. It's a little bit more like finding like a lost sort of city. You know, it's like amazing. Like it's everything you'd want out of. Well, you're all country bumpkins from Salisbury, but like if you craved, if you crave city life, this has like the perfect middle ground of being like
Indeed.
everything you'd want in a Roman city, but also being not overpopulated, basically, for its time.
Yeah.
Yes, like most Roman cities.
Yeah, and as you pass through, and you're allotted like a series of like homes, basically, that you'll be taking over while you're here. A series of the Knights' Manors while you treat with the king, but you're not in the actual castle proper with Heraut. And rumor has it that actually we won't do this with rumor. Sir Nicholas comes forward and says, Sir Knights, Earl Roderick, King Heraut is busy trading with a few more of the northern kings, and then you'll have time to speak with the Earl. I thought it best to perhaps go over any additional statements that I might be able to pass to King Heraut on your behalf. The Centurion King is, of course, delighted that all of you have come.
And Sir Nicholas, it is good to see you again.
And for me to meet you. Florence and Edrich told me much of their time with you. No, they didn't. I don't think they mentioned this guy.
It was more Edrich was like, well, while we were fighting a small Saxon patrol, you were getting your hand chopped off and fighting the main people. So Edrich was like, yeah, let's not compare that. Diplomatic
let's
mission.
not maybe talk about that too. Let's not shed a light on that. Oh.
Yeah. As for the points of discussion, we will leave most of them to the Earl. But with the understanding that we are opening new lines of dialogue. Peace and unity against the threats that we all face are very important.
Madoc doesn't believe in holding old grudges to standard. And while the king is recovering, he is in charge. I believe that any peace treaty built with Madoc will be a strong foundation for when Uther returns.
Indeed, Logros' chief concern is the safety of the Isle.
How goes the Saxon threat on your borders?
The Saxons have been raided. Or sorry, not Saxons, sorry. It says, Malahaut has been raided by the Saxons every year since the last time that the Logros army marched this way. And that has not changed, even, well, King Octa and King Eosa were away. We are in dire need for change. But I'm afraid that he pauses and he considers his words very carefully. He says, I'd like to suggest that our kings have come into a series of misunderstandings with one another throughout the years. Perhaps a few important priorities taking... Well, perhaps the best way to put it is, I think both our kings are very similar. And
You're not wrong in that.
It won't be an easy peace. To speak frankly, I think King Heraut will offer demands, will make demands of King Uther's sign of loyalty in time ahead.
Well, as long as he understands he is treating with the Prince Regent. Anything the Prince Regent says is law in Logres.
With this understanding,
Sir Nicholas nods and says, in Logres.
with this
Logres.
understanding, I believe that you too seek peace. It matters not that it will be an easy peace, just that it works, and that we can be unified. What would be the best way to ensuring this? Obviously, Logres cannot give too much, nor indeed can offense be given freely.
I believe that he pauses and frowns. I don't quite know. I would be truthful in saying that many have heard of the recent duel of your king and his condition. Logres, quite recently, was very strong, and you still hold more knights than anywhere else in the realm. But you are fractured. I'm not so certain that you have all the allies that you thought you did.
The guest list today has shown that perhaps there were a few fewer names on that list.
Come now, Edrich. Suspicion will do us no good.
He says, I believe that King Heraut will demand much from Uther. What's more, I'm not sure he'll trust a Logres army to pass so close to Abericum as he did in the past. I think what he will expect is knights under his command. Libram sent to Abericum. And an eradication of Nohat and Dira before any other priority on this isle.
But at least one of those serves our interest.
Indeed.
Though I doubt even Madoc would go for such a thing.
Well, the purpose
You
of
never know.
negotiation is to ensure that all parties are, if not content, then displeased in the same fashion. We shall wait to see what the Earl has to say.
Exactly. Edrich is right on this matter. For
He's got
once.
diplomacy 5.
Sir Nicholas, in the interest of diplomacy and preventing a frankly senseless war based upon, as you put it, misunderstanding, when there is a far greater threat that we could stand united under Madoc against, what do you recommend? There can't be no hope at all, and I'd rather not see you at the end of my blade in the next few years.
Sir Nicholas nods. I had the opportunity a few years ago to travel into Logres and meet with the King Uther for the first time. I was sad to see his focus. He had already begun to muster on the Duke of Cornwall at that time. That slight was not an easy one for Heraut, and I think the death of Cornwall, it showed the realm that Uther was willing to behave in ways that might be mistaken as a tyrant. You can tell with those words he's trying to find a way to call Uther
He's
a tyrant.
calling it
without-
very
Yeah.
politely.
Being
Yes.
very polite.
Perrin's
Very
Perrin's trying to
polite.
figure out how to agree with him without without agreeing with him too. Perin kind of nods and he goes, "Some would say Edrich, Florence, and I were quite deeply entoiled in that. I'd say that all three of us would have considered Gorlo a friend at one point, and the war was, I'd say, equally devastating to all of us. In some things...
King can. Okay.
Oh, sorry. In some things, there is no such thing as victory, Sir Nicholas.
Regardless, I believe all of those in this room feel the same way. The next step is making sure that others outside it feel as we do. Thank you, Sir Nicholas, for allowing us entry. And we shall wait here until King Malahaut is finished. Until the Centurion King has finished treating with the rest of the Northern Lords.
If
Very
I
well.
may add one more thing, Sir
course.
Nicholas. Oh. If I may add one more thing, Sir Nicholas, as right now, you are the closest ear we have to the Centurion King. Earl Roderick has been given full authority to negotiate for this, to find out if Malahaut is an ally or an enemy. Any deal that is made, I believe Madoc will honor. With that in mind, I'd like you, if you're willing, to remind the good Centurion King that he is negotiating not with Uther Pendragon and not with Madoc, but with Earl Roderick directly.
He nods. I will do my best. He doesn't sound very confident in that.
No, he doesn't.
Or rather, it doesn't sound. He sounds like he's confident. His answer doesn't sound trusting that that will make a difference. If that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Yes, I get you.
We put a lot of energy into ensuring that Duke Corneus was not here. Trust us.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually goes a long way. Like, he hates Duke Corneus, so
Yeah.
that's a good thing. I'm
That's why
going.
Edrich mentioned it. They hate each other.
I'm gonna go to a brief scene while you're waiting. I need a reason. Why would Edrich be outside? It can be something basic, like something common that Edrich would be doing at this point.
Edrich is A, paranoid, B, angry. He is taking in the fresh air while looking outside, essentially walking the streets, ensuring no one's around the house, and just taking a calming walk, essentially. This city is much nicer than Londinium in terms of the smell and the environment, even if it's a strange locale.
Okay.
It's the two emotions of a knight: angry and paranoid.
You
exactly.
While you're passing through, I want you to give me a recognize roll, and you may add +10 to your roll, good sir.
Oh, thank you kindly. Success? Barely.
I was close.
Yeah.
You are walking through the street, and you see one of the Northern Kings kind of move past you. As the Northern King moves to pass you, you realize that you've seen this face before. Not anywhere in Logris or Malahaut, but while were captive in D-Road.
Yeah.
This is a Saxon presenting himself as a Northern King. Probably not pulling one over on Malahaut, because that makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, that's
And
too high profile a person to be in disguise.
This is Eomund. You remember hearing his name twice. First time was as a envoy visitor to Dira when you were a captive, and the second time he was the one leading the third battalion at the giant battle you had at Lindenpool. He was
Indeed.
not the one where you guys took down Octa and Eosa. He was the third.
Got you. I think... Can Edrich speak some words of Saxon?
Yeah, probably very little, but you
Mostly swear words, which is interesting.
Well, would you have?
Mostly threats.
You're energetic.
Energetic, and he loves his wife.
Yeah.
He wants to. Yeah, it's love poetry, affectionate terms, and threats. The first thing he asked to learn was surrender or die.
Test love wife, not because you're impassioned, like not for impassioning, but just test it. And I think
absolutely.
Be funny
no
if you're just walking past next to someone and then you hear them say in your native language, "I love you."
Hey, sexy.
Whoops, I got that one
I love you
confused with
more
another
every
one.
Wrong word.
passing day.
So you say something to him. What do you say?
What did you say his name was again?
Eamund.
Hercules. Oh.
Eamund. Come for a rematch?
He pauses. He looks at you. How is
What brings
Oslav?
an envoy at the Sacks? Sorry, yeah. She is well. There are matters to be tended to.
Do you remember Rattleshirt that you had captive in your basement as well?
Yes.
He comes out from the same place not long after, though he's not dressed the same.
Oh boy. Rattleshirt was a formidable warrior taken down by Gordrix quite handily, though. Now that it is 2-on-1, Edric's exactly as confident as he was before.
Yeah.
And he goes, "She is well. There are matters to be tended to, but I assure you they will be dealt with. What brings Saxon warriors and envoys to Malahaut?"
Likely the same thing that brings knights from Logres.
Forgive me, I'm going to switch out of Saxon because it is horrifically broken.
Yeah, no,
my
most
tongue.
of this was not in Saxon, and this is Eamon speaking fluent Kimric.
Yeah, he's really good at that. Let's say peace. This place is one of your bread baskets. You take sacrifice victims and money near yearly.
We did. It's true. But a future lies ahead where that might not be necessary. But I should speak no further on such terms. That is for King's business. I am merely an envoy.
Indeed. Well, you are known to these people. You are guests. So, instinct perhaps will be fought down. But it was quite nice to see the both of you again. And what was the name of Rattleshirt?
I don't know if we ever named him. Yeah, I think we did. I don't want to make it up because I think we had it ages ago. So let's go watch the video and find it. Yeah.
Tom.
He will mention
Rattleshirt.
him by name and say, "Your presence is sorely missed."
Goodbye, Rattel Shahart.
All right. So with that, what do you want to do, Edrich? I think the only reason I didn't put Jarren in there is because that would have 100% turned into a battle, right?
That would 100%.
Oh yeah, there would be
turned
blood on the
into
street by now.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Saxons ambush, kill them.
Where did they come out of? What building did they come out of?
One of the quarters a bit closer to the castle. Like the kind of the same thing. It's like certain buildings have been set aside for the envoys. The the ones you guys are in, is where the Northern Kings that left were.
I know they got here first. Edrich is so offended that Saxons would be closer to the castle than Knights of Salisbury are. Edrich is going to make a note of the building that they're in. As he's looking around, any like guards or like people there, can he like see through windows or something that there are like people inside talking, eating?
Give me an awareness test.
Absolutely. I'd like to test my hate Saxon.
Sure. I'll allow it.
Yeah. Essentially, he is suspicious.
I think in that case, you
and,
may tick it.
Yeah. I've been getting steadily less racist, but like seeing my former captives, it's bringing it back. Success on awareness for simply gathering the information.
Yep.
You're like, maybe I was right to kill those Saxons.
You see Lady Ines leave it. With her own envoy of what is presumably Malahaut Knights.
Edrich will slink back into the throng of people and the shadows. This is not nearly as relaxing a walk as he wanted to take.
Yeah, you find yourself kind of in that scenario. Test suspicious for me.
Do I need to? I don't trust these people.
No,
Shall I add 5 to it?
No, just test it flat. I want to see like how suspicious you are here.
I rolled, but it did not appear. Let me do it again, and we'll take whatever first appears. Failure on suspicious. That's unlikely.
All that means is that you're not super paranoid of every commoner that you run across on the street. At least,
That's good.
Yeah. I was gonna, if you roll that, you're like super paranoid going back. You're like, oh my god, there's the gardener. He's staring at me. Like.
Excuse me, sir. Would you like to buy some carrots? Ah!
Yeah. Kills 5 peddlers on the way back.
Me arm! You chopped off me arm.
It was the peddler, my lord. The peddler.
For the peddler, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get back, no concerns. But it seems like the people here are not concerned or alarmed with this presence. And certainly the Malahaut nobles are treating with the Saxons. That is the information that you're 100% certain of.
I'll tell you who is concerned about that. Edrich.
Yeah.
Edrich will go back into the building and inform the Knights of the Sword for certain, and the Earl as well.
Let's do this in roleplay.
Yeah, let's do it. Edrich will get back in the house. You could tell when he left because he was half stomping, half stalking, and you can tell when he enters because he's just full striding as the door slams. You can tell where he is because he takes it out on the world. And as he enters, he says, "Sir Amig, do you know where the Earl is? Is he within the building?"
Yes, he's just over there with the Sir Perin and Florence and Sir Jarren.
Good.
I'm just trying to get everyone involved. Made sense.
I know, definitely. I was going to gather everyone. Edrich is going to stride over and say, "My lord, everyone. So, I have discovered, as I feared when I saw the sheer number of foreign dignitaries, that among them are those who we would consider enemies. I saw familiar faces."
Be more
treating
specific.
with
Edrich says.
Enemies.
Earl,
We have no enemy. Yeah.
Yes.
We have no enemies among the Northern Kings.
That is because they were disguised. They are the Saxons.
What?
Lady Anest was treating with an envoy, one who I recognized from my days in captivity, and one who I recognized who we kept in captivity.
That's not good.
Saxons.
Significantly bad.
Why would the Saxons be treating with Malahaut?
They said it was in the brief conversation we had that it was a new path forward, which I suspect is code for meaning they will attack Malahaut less and us more.
Surely they're not seeking Malahaut would not seek an alliance with the Saxons, nor
If they-
accept such a thing.
You heard what Sir Nicholas said. If their king here is not dissimilar to Uther's own eccentricities, nope, that's not how you say it.
Eccentricities.
Yes, eccentricities. It's entirely possible that his focus might be pulled beyond what is logical.
Not even Uther would side with his enemies, even against another enemy. If anything, that's the only... Well, not the only thing that's honorable about him, but it shows his honorable nature.
I would say this. There are reasons why the Saxons to the east have not been dealt with, and I imagine it is something similar. My Earl, with this in mind, I would recommend more caution. A lot rides on this, and if the Saxons are somehow more amenable to peace than we, it could end disastrously.
The Earl has a
you
very, very specific look on his face, but he doesn't say much at first.
We came here to determine primarily if Malahaut would be an enemy or an ally. I believe that still remains our primary mission, beyond negotiating one way or the other.
Indeed. And I will say this. Though that question still remains, the answer is looking grim, particularly because the allies we believed we had in the Northern Lords are treating with Malahaut as if they are allies. A war will be possible to win, of course, but it will no longer be the decisive victory we had in mind. And indeed, in this very city, eyes and ears may belong to those we do not trust. Even more.
What
I
more?
see.
Regardless of
You
whether
say
or not...
Lady...
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Florence.
Oh, yeah. You say Lady Anest was involved.
Treating with
Strange
them
indeed.
directly in the same building, which belies a level of trust to the diplomatic envoy, which is refreshing, if depressing.
If I
I
may,
think you mean terrifying.
I no longer think that there is, regardless of whether or not this goes well or poorly, I believe there will be an attempt on your life, Sir Roderick. Earl Roderick.
I agree.
Then we must...
Or at least, I don't think
We
it's
must
safe
make-
to remain.
Well, we can secure the building until the king is ready to meet.
And we have enough
Or
trail
we could
rations
attempt to make
that
camp
we are...
outside it.
To
Sorry.
meet us for
Indeed.
what? You heard Sir Nicholas. So that we can hear his demands. I think the Centurion King has made up his mind already. And I think it best we leave immediately. Now,
I'm
it
inclined-
is the evening, which means you'll be leaving at night.
Perhaps it is better we leave on the morrow anyway, if we are to. I still think it's possible we can treat with the King of Malahaut and bring him to his senses. Siding with Saxons is no action of a king of this land.
And what
Treating with the King of Malahaut is good, but I agree with the Earl. If we are to leave, we should do so immediately.
I think that the Earl is right, that there's nothing more we can do here.
Oh boy.
But I also think that leaving at night is going to be quite dangerous for you, as with staying here. I'm confident in our ability to outsmart any potential assassins tonight and leave in the morning. But it is your call, Earl.
We have the men to secure the building, and we have the rations to ensure that no poison can slip within our goblets.
Very well. When we leave in the morn, we must have a constant standing guard, and I would like one volunteer rider. If
Florence is our best horseman, I think.
If
Ever?
skirmishing is to break out, your duty is not to defend me, but to ride and tell the first man from Logris you can what's happened here.
Agreed. And if I may, I would also recommend, if you and Lady Ellen are willing, us to station either Edrich or Jarren in your chambers as well as a extra layer of defense. Should something slip by, I doubt they would expect to have one of our best swordsmen so close.
I will not be sleeping this night.
Very well.
All right.
For some reason, there wasn't something very pleasant about the idea of Edrich watching him sleep.
Yeah. I think with this, Florence goes, oh, I'll be honest, I'm quite tired from the long ride here. I think I might retire early so I might awaken in the morn at a good time to prepare for the ride out.
Rest as best you can. We will ensure that there is a patrol and a standing guard circuit.
Of course.
Two
I'll be
men-
ready for the morning shift and for the ride out.
2 men to a room if we can arrange it. Yes, Florence?
Of course. So, Jarren, would you like to be my bunkmate, as it were?
Of course. If they don't want me on the Earl's door, I don't mind staying up. If there are Saxons around, it'll be hard to sleep anyway. And you can kind of tell that Jarren's already looking for a fight. Like, he's not wary because of an ambush. He's kind of
hoping for an excuse.
He's
this man to quarters.
he's energetic because he wants to go out and just start a fight right now.
Noted.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so is anyone sleeping tonight?
Florence is not.
Edrich is not. Edrich is very energetic and quite worried.
So
I will say,
Florence is not sleeping. Is that what you said?
Florence is planning to sneak out.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say that Perin's gonna get some rest because what is he gonna do if shit, like he's better at sword, but he's not that good at sword. I think, however, though, I have a 16 I have a 16 energetic, so I will be staying up as well.
Okay. And I imagine Jarren is you are 16 energetic. Please test energetic for me as you stay up all night. See how you're feeling about that the next morning.
Is that all of us that are staying up?
Yeah.
All right.
Hell
Yes.
yeah!
This is my first energetic test. I've passed.
Do I get to tick that?
In this one, yes, because it actually matters. So it's like
Joke's on me. I've already ticked it.
okay. So in the case of Florence, what was Florence doing that night?
Florence is going to sneak out to attempt to visit the a nest.
I'm shocked.
Right.
And specifically, he's going to tell Jarren that he's gone to the latrine. And hope that Sir Jarren is not actually
aware.
inquisitive enough to
Yeah.
wonder why he's taking so long.
I will say this.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
I will say this. Edrich considers
be aware,
himself a study of human behavior and character, and he feels he knows his friends. He will not suspect. He will not suspect that Florence is doing something like that.
I mean, the only thing Sir Jarren doesn't expect, like, oh, he may have done something else. The only thing he would suspect is, oh no, Florence just got killed in the toilet.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
dead.
Toilet murder.
I better go check on him.
Yeah, that's what I
He's dead in
assumed.
the John.
Hey, Jarren gets busy. You know, he decided to go out and stand guard for the Earl's door at one point, and that's about the same time that Florence sneaks out. Florence is gone for a bit.
Alright.
It's gonna be a tough one. I will. Take
He is
it-
like wearing like a cloak or something to disguise himself.
Yeah, I assume so. I guess you know that she would be in the castle, and you're trying to effectively slink into the castle at night, right?
Yes, effectively.
Okay. You can test two things for me. I need an intrigue test and
Okay.
a dex test. And I'll even give you for
Okay.
both of those. I'll give you a +1.
+1. So generous, Bob.
Yeah, well,
Hey,
I can't give
any
you a
portion of
freebie.
storm.
You have passions if you want to go higher than that.
Yeah. I'm gonna use a passion. My argument would be for hospitality, but I don't think it would count in this case.
We've done
Uh,
some crazy stuff with passions. Hospitality to sneak in and see the sister of your host.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
That's hospitable, right? Yeah, no.
You know
I
what?
think also for some-
I think you should get. I think you should be able to get that just for the pure balls of trying that one. I think you should be
I
allowed it.
admire the gumption, the hustle.
No, I think I'll roll honor because he did promise to visit Lady Ines,
I don't.
and he won't be able to if they leave tomorrow.
I can't permit that. Not with intention.
No?
Unless your intention is to
Okay.
stay chaste. If your intention is to stay chaste, I will permit it. Otherwise, the act
Okay.
of slinking around at night to
Hmm.
go set up a dalliance at night. That's a risk of a just direct loss of a point of honor versus
Yeah,
that's not what
man.
knights do. Yeah.
buddy.
And I see this lady for the sake of my friends. No, I don't think I have any passions that apply. Unless hate Saxons?
I don't think.
No,
with
I'll
your
just roll
intent-
it straight.
Seduce them away.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. First one. Intrigue. I might get arrested. This is gonna be fun. No, I succeed!
Hell yes.
And
Next
then
one
a
is-
dex.
Okay.
Success!
Hell yes.
You managed to
You
find.
shouldn't be cheering for me, Thomas. This is a bad thing.
No, trust me, trust me. As much as I want to see it fail because it would be funny, I want you to succeed so you don't die.
You managed to find your way into the castle, and you, which takes a long time. Like you're Metal Gear Soliding it all over the place here.
Yeah.
You
Throwing a rock down a hallway.
which by the way requires you to be armorless. Do you have any weapons?
Yeah, he's
on-
armorless. He's
Do you have
not
any
wearing a
weapons on you?
No, he wouldn't carry a weapon.
Oh my god.
Please, for the sake of my sanity, please take at least a dagger.
Yeah, because slinking around in a dagger at night it won't cause you any trouble at all.
Fair enough, never mind.
Yeah, I don't think he'd have any as well because he doesn't want to be mistaken for an assassin.
Lore reasons why I don't think you'd
yeah,
want to
lore
either, but
reasons.
oh boy, I'm so scared for you.
I'll be
So-
listening in. I gotta quickly go.
So as you're going up to basically up a stairwell on your way to what should be like where you knew you were intended to meet with her the last time. you hear, just as you get to the top of it, the door opens, and you find yourself face to face with someone you know.
Oh shit!
And with that, we're going to be continue for the next episode.
No.
This is gonna be a fun conversation.
I hear you've been telling people that you took me down in one hit.
Hello again.
This is really bad. This is worst case scenario. This whole thing. It could not
Maybe
have
he'll be
gone
nice.
worse.
Maybe it'll be fine.
This whole trip could not have gone worse.
I'm back.
End of sentence.
I was listening and I didn't see who it
Who it
was.
was.
So like as people were panically reacting, I thought, oh god, it's Baroness Pomponia. And then took him down in one blow. Oh no.
He
Yep.
could have said that about Pomponia too, honestly.
That's true.
You would also
Um,
say that. Oh, this is quite bad. Quite bad. I'm loving it.
So we're gonna close here. I'd hope to get further, but that's my own fault. Zack, you're welcome to be continued for part of next episode, and we can always link you out. You know, if you don't want to go the full run, have you back for an hour or so, and then have you dive out. But we'll figure that out in between the games. If not, Jarren will
Okay.
go into NPC mode for a bit.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Why don't we do some closures here? Because it's 11 my time, which means 2 a.m. for our EST here. Thomas.
Hello, my name is Thomas, and I've been Sir Edrich of Winterbourne, Stoke. Edrich didn't have too bad of a time. All of the bad things that happened to him happened to everyone else. So really, it's fine. He saw some familiar faces, which he didn't much like, and he's getting a little bit more racist. But hopefully, we've seen kind of like a calming of himself. He's acted as a mediating figure a couple of times, which is good to see him do again. It failed ultimately.
All
But
right.
yes, that's me.
Mark.
Hello. I have been Mark. I've completely forgot the bit I was gonna do because I'm so stunned, but I'm sure someone else will take over for me. I've been playing Sir Florence of Idmiston, who is now in a very awkward situation. So tune in next time for what may be the end of Florence. We'll see what happens. But yes, I also run stuff on the Cat's Meow show. I'm currently doing a mask series with some people actually from here, Bob and Liam. And episode 4 will be coming out soon. I've had to take a bit of time with that one because I'm dealing with some audio issues. And we will be recording issue 5 very soon, so that'll come up as well. So stay tuned. And join the Discord, because that's where a lot of my notifications about that go. Yeah, that's me.
Right? Liam, you're up.
Hi everybody, I'm Liam. I played Sir Perin of Durnford and a little bit of an NPC from the Open Pendragon game. If you want some context for her name Everard, go ahead and watch the last Open Pendragon episode. I'm also in Cat's Meow. Come check that out. It's wonderful. We've got a Discord. Bob, did you already do your Discord stick? They started with you this time, so I didn't hear it. Nope. Okay. We got a handy dandy Discord. We got memes and stuff
There we
on there.
go.
Please join it. It's in our socials. You know, we always talk about the games, and there's always fun stuff to catch around there and stay informed. Join Open Pendragon, whatever. That's all I got. I will have a new project out in the next month, which I'm very excited about. I've been working on with several good peeps. Mark included as my co-creator on that, so looking forward to showing that with y'all.
Awesome. And Zack, you got anything you want to add? Thanks for coming.
Oh
again.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love playing with you guys. Thanks for having me. I'm just looking forward to this steamy thruple that's about to happen in the shadows of Malahaut here.
Oh no. Escort
Mala.
buddies with King
Yeah.
Octa.
Okay, there are two ways out: fighting and fucking.
There's two.
And reading the news. Brilliant.
Sure. No, it was a good episode. It was a slow burn, but I enjoyed it. There was a lot we went through, a long travel, but I think it's good to kind of see what it would be like to roam through that and all the changes that are going on.
I really liked the travel part of it. I thought that was really cool. Good ep, one could say.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't anticipate the Florence factor at the end there. That we'll see where that goes.
One does not
Edrich had one
anticipate.
job, and he didn't anticipate it either.
One does not anticipate the Florence factor.
It's gonna be great because Florence is gonna come back and go, "We need to leave now."
We need to go right
If-
this minute.
If Florence comes back,
If he
because
comes back.
if not, Edward was killed by Eosa. You could get killed by Octa, and then
Oh.
you'd be 2 for 2.
That would be matching.
true.
That'd be so fun.
That would be bad. We'll see what happens. It's not set in stone. Well, we'll see. I don't think Florence has the Jason Bourne move, so we're gonna have to see what he does here at this point.
No. It'd just be him running into the door frame.
Shit.
All right. Well, with that, why don't we go ahead and wrap her up? I don't think I have anything too big to mention. It was mentioned that we do. I'll add that. So open Pendragon. I'll be putting out the when is good. If you're interested and you haven't joined yet, you can join. We're going to be doing multiple sessions a month. We're also opening up like text-based roleplay if you're a fan of that. So there'll be some of those options. We're also probably going to do something where we might put a spotlight on different open Pendragon players and let them kind of monthly like put one particular adventure on a player who's earned it, like on a character. So a character who's earned a certain, I haven't figured out the mechanics. It might be more like a May thing for that to happen, but like an employee of the month, but not so much about the role player or whatever. It's just like, oh, this character's done a lot of cool things this month. Let's give them the choice on what they want to highlight on, and it'll be like there. We'll try to frame that episode with that character involved. So just gives them a little bit more, The open Pendragon players don't always get a lot of like personal stuff, so it'd be the closest thing they get to a personal quest. We'll see how that goes. No promises yet. Open Pendragon should have 3 or 4 episodes. We're back with A Gathering of Branches, or Thinning of Mists, which these two games are a lot more related than they were at the beginning when they first started out. So keep watching for those little tie-ins, because those little tie-ins will be much bigger very, very soon. And we will be welcoming Zack back as a guest here, and of course over at Gathering of Branches. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna wrap it here. Take care, everyone.
Hey.
Wait.